I think I got here around about 10 o'clock, John, and I think around about 10:30 the stadium started to fill up and the fans were coming in nice and early because they realise how much of a big occasion this is, not only for themselves but for the players, and they're desperate to get behind this team.
I do love the fact that Tottenham Hotspur on Wednesday beat what many feel is the best team in the world at the moment, Liverpool. Next Wednesday, they play the North London derby against Arsenal. Today, it's Tamworth.
It's incredible. I mean, I was speaking to Steve on the other side of the pitch, and I was saying about Kinski, the Tottenham goalkeeper. He had the dream debut the other day at the the stadium, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and now he finds himself in Tamworth, and he must be thinking polar opposites. I mean, absolutely incredible.
Well, he stands out like an absolute beacon, doesn't he? Antonin Kinski, his first experience for him, maybe settling the fact that as he turns to his left, he walks towards the stand where the 800 Tottenham fans are, and they give him a big ovation. We're just about ready for kick-off. These are the teams, these are the names that we'll be describing. These are the Tamworth players who will be dreaming. Singh is the goalkeeper. Crompton, Cullinan-Lyberg, Hollis and Cockrell-Mollett the back four. Then Tom Tonks and Ben Milnes the captain, with George Morrison in the middle. Tom McGlinchey and Beckley Enoru wide. And then their top scorer, Dan Creaney, the bricklayer, the number 9 through the middle. And Tottenham's team really strong. Kinski in goal, Porro, Dragosine, Gray and Reguilon, Sarin Bissouma, Captain Maddison, Brennan Johnson and 17-year-old Mikey Moore making his return to the Tottenham team, with Timo Werner as the central striker, but also packed stars on the substitutes bench: Son, Solanke, Kulusevski, Bergvall as well, the goal hero from Wednesday night. So here we go. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. This is the FA Cup third round. This is the essence of the FA Cup. It is Tamworth, the lowest placed team in the pyramid, still left in the FA Cup this season. 16th in the conference against Tottenham. Tottenham Hotspur, one of the great names of this great competition. 8 times winners. And here they are with their first experience of Tamworth's home stadium. Tamworth in the red shirts that kind of fade into black around the shoulders, black shorts, red and black socks, and for some reason there is a delay in kick-off, and actually the Tottenham players have taken the ball away from the centre circle and are going to knock it around on what is this cold afternoon, and I'm not sure whether
I think they're checking the net behind in the goal behind the Tamworth goalkeeper. I think it's just dropped ever so slightly, so they were... Oh yes,
so it has. So that's why we've got a delay. But there doesn't necessarily seem to be anybody working on it, does there? There's actually nobody there at the moment, so they must be...
Yeah, they must be going to get something to make sure that they can sort that out.
Yeah, so we've got a significant delay here before the match will get underway, and you can see the net, the back of the net has drooped down quite significantly, so that needs to be sorted. Oh, it's not unlike how it is at the other end, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks very similar actually, now that you say it, John.
Yeah. So I see that Andy Peakes, the manager... Steve, are you still over there on the... can you still hear us over there on the far side? So I think Andy Peakes has just walked onto the field to have a chat with the referee. I'm just wondering, Steve, if you can hear us, because Andy Peakes has just walked onto the pitch and there's a bit of a conversation going on over on your side of the field.
Do you know what, John? I've managed to just walk round to right behind the goal, so I'm right next to the goalkeeper, the Tamworth keeper, and what they're doing is a little bit like anyone who's played Sunday League. They are just pegging the top of the net back into the goalpost, and they can't seem to make it stick, so there's just this tiny little hole right in the centre of the goal, right beneath the crossbar, and Singh, the goalkeeper's just been trying to do it himself. The referee is now walking over towards us in the heart of the 6-yard box, and they're just, I mean, I'll tell you this, referee, lovely fella, there's no way he can reach up there to the crossbar. So a couple of the Tamworth players are trying to help out, and they just cannot get this little bit of the net properly stuck in. So the problem is the little plastic peg, the white plastic peg, won't sit in the little groove, and I imagine we're not going to be able to do anything until it does. They're hanging on the crossbar now.
Beckley Enoru went running over as well.
He's got some tape, John. He's literally got some white tape in his hand, which he's now wrapping round the crossbar.
I have never seen anything like this at a top-level football match, which is what it is. Bekre Enoru has got onto the shoulders of his teammate and has taped up the net so that it is not dropping down anymore. What a start to proceedings.
You said it, that football was full of surprises, John, and there's another surprise for you. Commentating on Tom Tonks, then seeing a centre-back on the shoulders of another player, taping the goal up.
The winger, Enoru, on the shoulders of Cullinan Liebird. Well, that if there were nerves and if there was tension, that might have just eased things for Tamworth. But it's the old story. We're ready for kick-off now. We're ready to go after that unexpected delay. And there is the cheer from the home sections of the Lamb ground as James Maddison gets the first touch of the match and plays it back. And Archie Gray has just made sure that he knows that he's going to be in for a battle. And here is Enoru now into the action early, plays it forward, might have come off the hand of Porro. Enoru still going into the penalty area, past Dragasine, his cross, goodness me, at the near post, Kinski has to push it over. That might well have been creeping into the top corner from the tightest of angles with 30 seconds on the clock, a corner.
Well, Postecoglou said before the game that his team won't come into this game and be sort of underprepared. Well, straight away Porro's been run. Enoru with the ball at his feet just drives at him and he just causes a problem down that left hand side, gets the shot away near post. Credit to Kinski, he does well to save it.
Well, he had to be sharp there, the young Czech goalkeeper, and only his second appearance. It's a corner then, first chance for a set piece, and Tamworth are doing an Arsenal. They've got everyone grouped at the far post. In it comes from Milnes, headed down and then volleyed away to comparative safety for Tottenham, and then further away as well by Pedro Porro. So that is the first threat posed by Tamworth of the National League as Callum Cockrell-Mollett fires it forward out of play. I can't help but chuckle at the fact that they've got a player against Tottenham, the club of the Cockerel. They have up against them today Callum Cockrell-Mollett, and he's the man who sells zips for a living. You couldn't make it up, could you? Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0, and that's a reminder for those who don't know that Tamworth are part-time. What a pass that is from Porro over to the left-hand side to Mikey Moore, now into the penalty area. Region drives forward, but as he tried to cross it, flicked off the defender. It's a corner. Is it a corner?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, good defender from Crompton in the right-back position, made sure he was tracking and got across. Well, just the sign there of how good Tottenham can be. Lovely switch of play by Porro.
So it's a corner then. One corner each. 2 minutes on the clock after the delayed start. Maddison to take this. Tamworth, so important in occasions like this to keep it tight early on. Here it comes, and it's caught by Jasbir Singh, one of the heroes of this FA Cup run. He's launched it away downfield for Enoru to chase. He's taken it out towards the right-hand side, tried to go around the outside, and has managed to win a throw-in that deflected out of play. Throwing to Tamworth deep in the Tottenham left-back area.
You talk about distribution from your goalkeeper. What a kick that was from Singh. And what's it led to, John?
It's led to the first long throw of this cup tie. So all eyes on Tom Tonks, the man who took the throw that led to the goal that knocked out Huddersfield Town in the first round. He's backed up against the hoardings. He's holding the ball high above his bald head. He comes up to the line now. Here it is, delivered to the near post. 2 Tottenham players go for it. They both, I think, got a touch to it. Cleared it out of the penalty area, and Maddison was able to volley it downfield for Werner to chase. And Cockrell-Mollett was underneath that for Tamworth. Then possibly a shove on the back by Porro, but the ball bounces out of play, and it's a throw to Tottenham 10 yards inside their own half. So there we are, Stephen Warnock. One long throw survived, but given away by Pedro Porro. Milnes is onto this. He plays it square to McGlinchey. McGlinchey looking to get it back on the edge of the penalty area, just hooked away for Tottenham. All in blue Tottenham, this light blue kit with the dark blue trim. 0-0, very early stages here. One other FA Cup tie, by the way, is underway. The 12 o'clock start. Hull City 0, Doncaster Rovers 0 is the latest score there. And all of the matches covered this afternoon. But the next commentary here on 5 Live will be Newcastle United against Bromley, which should be a good one. And of course we'll keep you up to date on Arsenal against Manchester United, which is live on BBC One this afternoon. Dragusin with a long pass forward, the Romanian. That is not cleared by Hollis. Werner is able to get it down. Crompton got a touch on that for Tamworth, and now Milnes, right-footed ball, finds the pass to Enoru. He gets it down. Creaney's available on the left if Enoru wants to use him. He does. Creaney, left foot cross towards the far post, but the offside flag was up against the number 9 on the wing, who perhaps was a little naive in getting himself into that position.
Just overexcited because they find themselves in a really good position, but there's
I know the feeling.
Yeah, there's just a feeling every time Enoru gets on the ball. You hear the crowd, they pick up that pace that he's got. You get the sense that he's the go-to guy. He's the one who's going to have a lot of expectation on his shoulders to drive this team forward when they do get possession. But really good start from Tamworth.
Tottenham with the ball at the back. Great scene this is. People are packed in at every possible vantage point. Over in the far corner, the match day control room is there, and I think there are at least 2 people on the top of the match day control room. I see the red brick wall as well over in the corner next to the TV tower beyond the shed. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people standing on top of the wall looking into the ground. Is that allowed in 2024? Well, did you read the hazard assessment form? Long pass forward for Tottenham out towards the left-hand side, and Bissouma is able to play it back. It comes centrally. James Maddison drops his shoulder. It's played square. Now out to the right-hand side. Pedro Porro drives it far too much on that, and the Tamworth supporters let him know about it. He bit of adrenaline running there. That was significantly overhit.
Yeah, but it's just a little bit of a glimpse for the Tamworth players and the fans as to when Spurs do move the ball quickly, they can get it into those wide areas. Just a touch out of the feet, and that is the difference here, John, and that's why it's so difficult to adjust to the synthetic surface, is that it's harder to take a good touch on it. It does bobble up, it does bounce up at times, it's a little bit stuck under your feet.
Goal kick for Tamworth that Singh takes, long and left-footed. None of this short playing it out from the back from a goal kick. Just hit it downfield. Tonks in on the challenge, but Bissouma comes away with it and plays it to Reguilon. Now here's young Mikey Moore, who's missed a significant chunk of this season. I think he might have been more involved, but Ange Postecoglou explaining that he's had an illness issue, but now fully fit and firing, and you know there's a great future predicted for him. Mikey Moore, 17 years old, just 17 in August, and yet to score for the first team in a senior competitive match. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. BBC Radio 5 Live under grey skies here, but high grey skies as Tottenham come forward. Madison's going to try a shot from the edge of the area with the angle, and it came off a Tamworth head and looped into all of those faces behind the goal. Corner to Spurs.
Well, it was Mikey Moore who was very instrumental in that move, dipping in off that left-hand side, a little through ball into James Maddison. He gets that shot away, but as you say, John, deflected over.
So it's Maddison with the corner, way over there on the left-hand side. In it comes, it bounces and then is headed up and across the penalty area by Cullinan Liebird for Tamworth. Comes out to Bissouma. Bissouma now, who's being followed with Morrison snapping it away at him, so he has to go back to Gray on the halfway line. The scene behind the goal to our right as well is absolutely timeless. The faces of the spectators, as I say there, it's only 5 steps high, that terrace, and they are packed in together as Tottenham come forward again. Cross from the left-hand side. Tonks was in position to clear that. It's knocked across his own penalty area by Crompton, but Tonks was able to head it down. I presume at some point Tottenham are going to assume a status of superiority here and knock the ball around, but we haven't seen it yet until now. Moore going around the outside, went down, the ball had got away from him, no free kick, so it's played up to Creaney, but he couldn't hold the ball up, and Tottenham have got it back, angled back from Reguilon. Now Sarr just allows it to run to Porro, just forward and right at the centre circle, and he'll go back into his own half. Almost 10 minutes played. That's how they do it, isn't it? You try and get through chunks, not tonks, chunks of time, and just sort of work in small periods of time.
Yeah, absolutely. And what they wouldn't have wanted to happen is to concede an early goal and to allow Tottenham to think that they're going to come here and get the freedom of the pitch. Now that Tottenham are just starting to find the bounce of the ball and the speed of the passing, but credit to Tamworth, the holding the shape, and now it's about trying to hold the ball up front as it comes into Creaney. That's better from the big man, making sure that he relieves that pressure off his team. Yeah,
he's for a bricklayer, he is as you'd expect, as the ball is played up to him, but a good distance wide of him by 5 or 6 yards. That didn't give him a chance. He's got an excellent goal scoring record, with Tamworth having come through 2 successive promotions to find themselves in the National League, and yes, they're down in the bottom half of the table and they've got a relegation battle on their hands, but after 2 successive promotions, that from those levels of the game, that is a meteoric rise for them to cope with, and many of these players have been involved in all of that. Long pass forward for Moore down the left. Moore persistent by the byline, but it's nipped away from him, and Tamworth will clear up towards the halfway line. Might drift out of play. In fact, Archie Gray brings it down. That's a lovely touch over there in front of the dugouts, in front of the shed. He uses Reguilon, and Tottenham go back towards the halfway line. Yes, the end to our right, behind Jaspia Singh's goal, it's an open terrace. There is a tall red corrugated fence behind it, as Tottenham can't keep the ball in on the far side. Mikey Moore, the pass to him, it's out of play for a throw-in to Tamworth, 15 yards inside their own half. But that tall fence, and then there's a line of local advertisers along the top of there, the kind of thing that we don't see in the Champions League, Stephen.
No.
The local double glazing company, the local car cleaners. What else have we got up there? The local bar and grill also is being advertised right behind the goal.
Is that what we can smell?
It might be. The local MOT centre, as the ball bounces back to goalkeeper Kinski, who has it. There's a Tottenham man down, and the home supporters in the shed over there are suggesting that if a player in the National League got a bang like that, James Maddison it is, that he wouldn't necessarily be going down.
No, Maddison obviously felt the brunt of that challenge as he went up for a header, but he'll get no sort of no one really caring about how he feels today. He won't get any sympathy whatsoever from the Tamworth fans.
No sympathy? Do you not think? Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. Still Hull City 0, Doncaster Rovers 0 in the other FA Cup tie that is going on right now. Tonks, quick long throw from the halfway line, looking for Creaney, but Gray went with him, and Archie Gray, what a big part of his footballing education this is for 18-year-old Archie Gray, after all of the praise playing against Liverpool the other night, now to find himself up against big Dan Creaney. That is a different sort of challenge altogether, and it's out of play for another Tamworth throw. Again, Tonks, he's already had one from this position. He's standing again, standing tall, arms above his head. This is a more powerful throw into the 6-yard box, hits the post, and I think the whistle has gone for it. No, yes it has. Yeah, I think the whistle has gone for a foul on Kinski, who was surrounded by Tamworth players, stretched high for it. Not sure if he did get a touch, and it hit the far post.
Well, he didn't look comfortable at all, did he? Didn't look happy. Whether there was a foul, we couldn't really see too much, but the next throw-in, exactly the same. Make sure you put it on the goalkeeper's head, because he won't be used to this. Not many goalkeepers will be, but what a weapon that is. Yeah. I mean, that was better than the first throw. That was getting himself warmed up, wasn't it?
Well, I was going to say, Stephen, the first one was almost like the sucker punch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The first one was a kind of, it wasn't powerful, it lacked any sort of zip behind it. He sort of looped it into the near post. That throw-in was really powerful.
Well, I just wonder whether it was a case of what the manager said to him: don't throw the first one in as strong as you can, let them almost feel like, yeah, it's not too bad, we can deal with that. Well, that was like an exorcist, wasn't it? It was just a missile as it came in.
Yeah, as Johnson and Porrall tried to combine for Tottenham down the right, but that's come to absolutely nothing. Bounced out of play for a goal kick. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. So that was the power of the Tom Tonks throw there for all to see. And Antonin Kinski, this 21-year-old goalkeeper who's just been signed with Fraser Forster and Vicario on the injured list, and he was certainly unsettled there. Here's Inoru. What a pass that was from the left back. Cockrell Mollett. Inoru tries the shot, but that was blocked inside the box. Tottenham had defenders there, and then Basuma comes in and takes the ball away from Inoru. They're a useful combination, aren't they, those two? The left back, Cockrell Mollett and Inoru. Spurs bring it forward with Sarr. This has been very entertaining so far. 15 minutes 0-0.
It's been a perfect start from Tamworth, hasn't it? Because what they've shown is that they've got an edge up front and that they're capable of hurting Spurs. We've seen a couple of the throws from Tonks and how dangerous that can be. But also as well that Spurs can be dangerous. So it's got all the ingredients.
They had to be quick there, Porro and Maddison, but they were. Johnson's ball in. Werner with his back to goal, just inside the penalty area. Back to Johnson, now back to Werner. Werner square, Maddison on the turn, on his left foot, back onto his right, back onto his left. Shoots just over the top left corner. He was leading Tonks a merry dance on the edge of the area, got his shot in, but it was over the bar.
Yeah, I was looking at the goalkeeper to see what his reaction was, and he was beaten, he was rooted to his spot. He couldn't see the ball in the way that Maddison had moved it. Lovely footwork from the England star, and he just couldn't quite keep it down and find that top corner. But that is James Maddison at his very best. And he's able to shift the ball from left to right and get his shot away.
So it is Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. If you just switched on, 12:30 start here, and likewise still waiting for the first FA Cup third round goal of the day. Still 0-0, Hull City and Doncaster, where I think it's half-time with you, Betty Glover.
It is indeed. Goalless in the first half, KG slow. Doncaster had the better start, but Hull gained the upper hand since then. Most of the possession. Just before the break, they had a free kick in a dangerous area, well saved before Abu Kamara's shot on goal, scraped just wide. By far their best chance of the half. I fear this has got extra time and penalties written all over it, John.
Well, the good thing, Betty, is that it was an early start, so it'll be an early finish, even if it does go to extra time and penalties. Here's Maddison. Maddison square to Porrall. Porrall now picks out Johnson. That's a miss. Poor touch from Johnson. Cockrell Mollett was able to get onto it, but Inoru was dispossessed then by Brennan Johnson, who did well to win the ball back after his initial mistake. However, Milnes passes it to Inoru. Creaney's in the middle. Inoru down the left wing into the penalty area. Left-footed ball evades Tonks. Then the low shot hits Gray inside the penalty area and bounces well wide. McGlinchey with the opportunity, caught it on the half volley, a low shot, but Gray was in position. Corner.
Yeah, Spurs just caught out with the ball just sticking in the surface. A couple of passes that Tamworth were able to intercept, and it's that man Inoru again down the left-hand side, driving forward. Can he pick out a pass? And he does to McGlinchey, and it was well blocked by Gray. Goes behind for a corner, but promising from Tamworth. Promising,
but they've had chances and they haven't been able to take them. And very often in this sort of scenario, this FA Cup scenario, you pay for that. Milnes, though, with this latest corner, Kinski comes and is able to make a comfortable catch this time. He'll feel better for that after a couple of dicey moments for him. The shot from Inoru in the first minute that he had to push over the angle of post and bar, and then the throw-in that bounced over him and hit the post as Tottenham trying to play it out from the back on this artificial surface, this 3G surface. You'll know, I'm sure many of those listening will have played on these sort of surfaces with the little rubber pellets on it. You can clearly see them as I look down to the side of the pitch here. That is what I say Tottenham are having to contend with. You know, they'll be very used to playing on these sort of surfaces. However, it is different on an occasion like this. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. I remember covering Tottenham in the Champions League, playing on an artificial pitch in Bern against young boys, and found it really difficult 10 or more years ago. Free kick to Tottenham after a wildish challenge on Moore. Free kick, he's all right, he's kept his feet. Cause of some hilarity down in front of us among the Tamworth supporters, who are very much enjoying their afternoon as Tottenham take the free kick, and Crompton is able to get the better of it. The blonde-haired right back takes it away from Moore, chested forward by Dragosine, but now Bissouma is under some pressure, but he's able to wriggle away and then bring it square and then play it through the middle. And now Sars onto this. Johnson, this could open up for Spurs. Johnson with the cross to the back post. It's over the top of Moore, and it bounces out towards the far side, where there was a shove on McGlinchey, and it's a free kick to Tamworth inside their own box, and it is still 0-0. And Stephen, 20 minutes are coming up now.
Yeah, it's very well done from Tamworth so far. I mean, the game plan has been excellent to try and stifle Spurs and then hit them on the counter-attack, and they've done that well. I just feel if Creaney's got to do a little bit more. He's a little bit static when the ball goes up to him. When you play against better defenders, they'll move about, they won't let you feel them, and they'll step in at the right times, but he certainly can be a handful.
He can. Super goal scoring record. One season he got to 40. You know, he can be that dangerous. This season, rather more modestly, just 9 goals in all competitions for Dan Creaney. Big man, isn't he? Fair-haired, curly hair, big shoulders. He is a presence. Here is Dragosine with his hair tied up on the top of his head, the Romanian. Johnson, then back into the centre circle, where Bissouma is able to play towards the left-hand side. Mikey Moore coming in field, and then Reguilon goes back to the halfway line. So yes, we're just waiting for the really, really big upset, aren't we, this weekend? Plymouth have had their day, the Janners, as I learned yesterday morning. That's my big learning of this weekend, with Patrick Keelty yesterday morning. That's what you call people from Devon, Janners.
I didn't know that myself.
No, I'd never heard that. As Mikey Moore goes back into his own half, we might get a trip down there.
Do you know
in the fourth
reason
round
for it, John?
Yes, it's apparently the Danish name, the Devonian name Jan is the equivalent of John, so that's what they call them. People from Devon are known as Janners. As Reguilon plays it forward, Madison's flick, that gives the possession back to Tamworth, and now they're looking to Onoru, but Porro is able to readjust his body, cut that out. Porro plays it forward towards Timo Werner. Werner through the middle, overhits the pass. Madison on the run through the middle, but the left foot of Werner sent it way beyond him and through for a goal kick. And my eye is caught again by one of those aluminium covered cardboard cutouts of the FA Cup that is being waved in the air over there in the shed. 0-0.
Yeah, there's just a moment though where George Morrison picks the ball up for Tamworth, and he's looking for Onoru on the left wing. He's trying to be too accurate with the pass. When you've got the pace of Onoru, just stick it in behind, make Porro's day very, very difficult by running him back towards his own goal.
0-0 as Tottenham play it forward, but then Hollis is able to come forward and lift it down the middle for Tamworth. Tottenham though back in possession. Loose ball collected by Madison and played back to the edge of his own penalty area. Kinski carefully passing it out.
He's very good with his feet. We saw that against Liverpool the other day, didn't we? Very comfortable, confident in the way that he passes the ball out, won't panic.
Yes, they didn't waste time, did they, in making their move for him. He started his career very pleasingly for people of a certain age at Dukla Prague, did Antonin Kinski. As a wasteful pass for Tottenham is cheered to the corrugated roofs of the main stand here, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Tamworth that is going to be taken by Ben Crompton, halfway inside his own half. There's barely any space over there, just close to where Crompton is, for the substitutes to warm up in front of what must be a clubhouse or some such, with the Tamworth crest on the top of it, as central defender Cullinan Liebird heads it forward, and it bounces out of play on the far side for a throw-in to Tottenham. Over there, very close to where Steve Crossman is watching. Steve?
Hello, yeah. I've just moved around now, actually, to behind the goal that Tottenham are attacking, because it was very much standing room only over there. Just to say, John, just walked past the turnstiles, and there are actually about 30 or 40 fans outside the turnstile looking in, because it's the only way that they can get a view of this game. So standing room only inside, and people hanging on outside too.
Inoru does well in the middle. Nice combination with Morrison, but then Inoru can't find the pass out to Tonks on the right-hand side, and then Tonks upends Maddison, who this time gets very quickly to his feet. I think he knows what would have happened if he'd stayed down. Played over the top by Porro. Johnson with the cross, it's behind Werner, but Crompton is able to come across and volley the ball high and away, and then Inoru with another high clearance. Bissouma gets that down. He was trying to win the free kick from McGlinchey. Referee Banks was having none of that, and Tamworth fire it away downfield and give possession back to Spurs. Still 0-0.
There's been a couple of them incidences where the referee, Peter Banks, has just said, no, on your feet, carry on. It's a competitive game, and I like that about that refereeing, because he's got to understand that these are two completely different sets of players in the leagues that they play in, and the different standards of refereeing, so that there is a more physical aspect from the Tamworth side, and Tottenham are going to have to adapt to that.
Archie Gray has carried the ball forward 10 yards inside the Tamworth half, but then knocks it back to the halfway line. And as you were talking there, Stephen, 25 minutes ticks up on the clock, and still it's 0-0 between Tamworth and Tottenham, as Spurs hit a long ball forward, but Cockrell Mollett is able to get up above Johnson and head that forward. Inoru in the centre circle takes the ball away from Sarr, passes it to the right-hand side. McGlinchey is there. Crompton is on the overlap. In fact, McGlinchey will go back to Milnes, and the Tamworth captain, little ball down the line. Spurs are able to clear it away, but it hits Werner on the back of the head and bounces out of play.
It was brilliant the way he was looking to
His
see
reaction.
where it had gone. He's thinking, is it in front of me, behind me? And it's in the Tamworth fans' hands.
That was
brilliant.
comical. It was an attempt to play it over the top. It hit him on the back of the head, bounced up in the air off the ground, and Werner suddenly turns around, looks to his left, looks to his right. Where is it? It's in the stand. And here he's got away from the scene of the crime, look, and he's run all the way over towards us. And Inoru is down and has got a problem here, and that would be a problem for Tamworth, because he's been one of the brightest stars on show here today, even against Tottenham.
Yeah, he's been a danger man. He's been the one who's been able to carry the ball, and he's had an opportunity straight away in the first minute or so of the game. Then he created the opportunity for McGlinchey as well, so they won't want to lose him. I'm just wondering whether it was in the middle of the pitch here, John, when he won possession. He almost stood on the ball, and it looked like he just rocked his ankle ever so slightly. He's back on his feet.
Yeah, back on his feet. He's been led off the field, and we'll see if he's able to continue. I mean, you would not want to step out of this, would you, unless you absolutely had to. Does it bring back any particular memories for you, Stephen, of being involved in this kind of scenario from your playing day? You can think about that for a moment, because play will resume with a long throw, and this is going to be a really long one. It's probably 15 yards, maybe 15, 18 yards inside the Tottenham half, on the right-hand side, on the right wing. Tonks with this long throw. This is a high one, very high, in towards the penalty spot, headed away by Dragosine across the penalty area to safety, and they've dealt with that, Tottenham. And indeed, it is hit long and forward by Porro. Werner was in an offside position. Singh comes out of the penalty area. The goalkeeper slices it forward. Cockrell Mollett, with his header, can only give it back to Tottenham. And Porro's going for a long crossfield pass that Crompton gets up well for Tamworth, heads it down, and Milnes, the home captain, is able to hit it forward towards Inoru, who's back on the field, just flexing his right leg, right ankle, whatever it is, out of play. Still Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0, and we are approaching the half hour. What about your experiences? Bring anything back in particular?
Well, I played in the one of the biggest upsets when we were at Liverpool, and we got beat by Burnley. The famous Jimmy Traore own goal, so yes. I know what it's like to be on the end of an upset. It's not a nice feeling, but I haven't really played in this big of a gap. I had a tough night once at Bristol Rovers when I was at Aston Villa, gave a penalty away. It wasn't a nice thing.
Which ground was that? Was that the Memorial Ground?
I think so, yeah.
That's a throwback as well, isn't it?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me anyway, John. I appreciate that. Lovely to work with you as usual.
Listen, this is the biggest gap that we've got in this FA Cup third round in terms of league placings. Here's Werner bursting forward for Tottenham down the left-hand side, and it is still 0-0. Werner does well, nice change of pace up against Hollis, and it took a touch off the defender and is behind for a Tottenham corner. Yes, Tamworth in the pyramid are 96 places below Tottenham, so 95 clubs between them. Tamworth 16th in the National League, and they are giving as good as they're getting from their illustrious visitors. It's a corner though, Tottenham's third corner. Spurs have had 3, Tamworth have had 2. Maddison to take this one, right-footed, next to where all of the photographers are crouching down. I think that must be where Steve Crossman is as well, down there. It's a little delay here because referee Banks is just coming to speak to Tommy Tonks and Archie Gray. That's a mismatch, and the two of them are wrestling with one another. Maddison with the corner into the near post, but that is headed up and away by Cockerell Mollett, and now it's being taken forward by George Morrison, but he is dispossessed by Bissouma and Tottenham. Give it to Maddison on the left-hand side. Maddison's ball into the penalty area, half cleared by Crumpton. Werner's onto this, hits the shot, that's blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Cheers for that as well from the home supporters. And then Porro is dispossessed. Morrison up towards Creaney. Oh, that's a heavy touch from Creaney, but he's able to get into the challenge and keep possession. Then he bounces into Johnson, and now it's back with Hollis in central defence.
Well, how well did Crompton do? A little bit of a misplaced clearance, and then he was able to get out to Timo Werner and block the shot. I think he's had a really good start to the game because he's had a little bit of a challenge on his hands against Mikey Moore. He's a tricky customer, but he's done exceptionally well.
Creaney tries to head it forward to Inoru, but that didn't quite come off. And Spurs now coming forward. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0 is still the score, and we are now past the half hour. Played square by Bissouma. Lovely move from Maddison. The shot is saved very well by Singh to his left. Not quite at full extension, anticipated it well actually, and pushed it round for a corner. The shot from Maddison.
Yeah, beautiful little nutmeg on Ben Milnes from Maddison. Just opens the space up, and then he just tries to bend it in the far right corner. Credit to Singh, he's read the situation, gets a strong hand, doesn't parry it out into any oncoming players, pushes it round the post to safety.
This is really bringing it back when I was at the Kidderminster West Ham tie a couple of years ago, and but from memory this is a much stronger Tottenham team than it was West Ham that day. In comes the corner, which Gray tries to volley, it bounces down, the shot from the angle from Sarr is blocked behind. It's another corner. Well defended, Tamworth. Yeah,
well done, Tonks, because he turned his back at first and then he readjusted his body. Papsar, as he went to have the shot, he just faked, and then Tonks was able to get back and block it.
Region, he's trying to find some space down there where there isn't a great deal against the hoarding. Delivery towards the back post, headed away by Crompton, who got up unchallenged, and it bounces down. McGlinchey for Tamworth plays it back, and Crompton is there on the dead ball line to hit it long up towards Bissouma, who's challenged by Morrison. Bounces forward for Tottenham. Werner plays it as a Tottenham man down. I think it's Maddison again, isn't it? Yeah. And Sarr, though, the tall, leggy Sarr, turns and plays it back towards the halfway line to Pedro Porro. Now through the middle, Bissouma to Sarr. Just ran away from him there at the crucial moment. Brennan Johnson, then back to Bissouma, and then again Johnson through to Pedro Porro, who's not offside but overhits the cross again by a significant distance, and it bounces out harmlessly for Tamworth for a throw in their own right back position.
Yeah, poor from Porro. He's got great delivery, but this time he overcooks it, trying to be too accurate, trying to fizz it. But John, that's an element of panic from Spurs because they're not finding it comfortable in this game. They are being tested and they're not getting the game or having the game the way they want it to go.
No, and that's not the first time from him. Pedro Porro out for a throw in the Tamworth right back area. Crompton with the throw, that's headed forward by Moore.
Stinker that, John.
Pardon?
That was a stinker.
What was?
Porro.
Did it not like that?
No.
As Cockerell Mollett, long pass forward for him. Inoru down the left, but Porro is able to stand up strong to that and deflect it out of play. And I'm just trying to say, I'm going to have to get my feet here. I think Ignoru might have just slipped off the field and maybe collided with the advertising hoardings, and he stayed down, having already received treatment during the course of this match, and now Tonks is leaning over him, and he's just recovering there. He's sitting up and sitting forward now, but he did after that little nudge from Porro. He slid into the hoardings, hasn't he? Slid across this artificial pitch and clattered into the hoardings, and referee Banks is just asking him if he's okay. It's still 0-0. We're running a little late here after the late start because of a problem with the net in one of the goals, and Porro has just reacted there. The throw-in is taken to Inoru, who's all right. He's back on the field. Inoru takes on Porro. Left-footed cross. That's blocked behind by Sarr at the near post. He did very well there. Well, that was some recovery after looking flat out, Inoru, just a moment or so ago. Corner.
Like Lazarus. I mean, incredible powers of recovery. But I just wondered why Tonks didn't throw it in, and then you see why Inoru got the beating of Porro every single time. He fancies that challenge. He's happy to go inside or outside. And then led to a corner. Just looking at what Spurs are doing to counteract the long throw in the corners, they're leaving 2 players up, which is pulling 3 players back, and it is allowing or pulling big Ben Crompton back, who would be a threat from set pieces.
Yeah, so 2 men left up, but it's a corner to Tamworth. It's 0-0 with half time approaching. Milnes with a high corner to the back post. Kinski comes and makes a good catch, and actually, as he was running to the edge of the area, I think maybe just has collided with one of the Tamworth players and has gone down quite theatrically, Kinski.
I think Creaney just stuck a leg out as he ran, and then he's made the most of it. He's trying to get a little bit more, maybe a yellow card for Creaney, but I don't think there was too much in it. The one thing I'd say from Tamworth's point of view is they have to block the keeper from corners and set pieces. You can't allow him to come out and claim free balls like that. It's too easy.
Yes, he's clearly a talented goalkeeper, but he's not the biggest in stature, is he, Kinski? It was lovely. Did you see the pictures with him and his sister after the match?
Oh, it was brilliant.
Lovely,
yeah, really nice.
Family were there after keeping a clean sheet on his debut against Liverpool, and this an entirely different sort of challenge for Antonin Kinski, who I was talking to Steve Crossman. I do remember his father, Antonin, who also was a Czech Republic international goalkeeper and went to the tournament here. Now, Tottenham come forward with Maddison. Maddison, who's been forced towards the halfway line by McGlinchey, so will play it all the way along over the centre circle to Dragosine, who's going to join the attack. Right-footed pass from him, looking for Reguilon. Reguilon brings it down. Reguilon's cross to the near post. That is cleared away by Cullinan Liebird, and it's out of play near the home dugout, the Tamworth dugout on the far side of the ground from where we sit here at the Lamb, the home of Tamworth since 1934. Throw-in taken by Tottenham. Moore back to Werner. Now Maddison whips it in. That's cleared away by Hollis for Tamworth. Then Tonks with a touch. Creaney as well. Tonks then couldn't take it on, and Reguilon was able to come across.
No, John, he saw the goalkeeper off his line and he was winding up for the long shot, and credit to the Spurs player who got back because Tonks was just eyeing it up.
Yeah. And
it was on as well.
Reguilon stepped in. And then Tonks is caught in possession. Werner, little pass to Maddison. Still Maddison, shoots straight at the goalkeeper, and Singh is able to make the save.
Should score, really should score. Tonks caught on the ball, and then lovely work between Werner and Maddison goes to shoot on his left foot, chops inside, and he sends Cullinan Bird for a pie, and then he just sits him down. Should score as he gets onto his right foot, should find that far corner, but Singh makes it look a really comfortable save.
And Tom Tonks there, having been caught, maybe just his mind still on the opportunity that he had. And as you say, Stephen, he thought about it, but in thinking about it, Reguilon was in on him, and the moment had passed.
Yeah, just that moment to think about it rather than just going and executing it. That's the difference between the top players and the level that Tamworth are playing at the moment, just the speed of thought.
But that for Maddison, that was Spurs' best chance, wasn't it, so far?
It was, yeah. It was the best opportunity that they've created. Both of them have come from James Maddison. One shot from the edge of the box and one not 7 or 8 yards out, which he perhaps should have done better with.
Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0, and this is 5 Live from the BBC. All the thrills and spills and romance of the FA Cup. Here is Sarr playing the ball in. It's not cleared, but Cockerell Mollett was able to turn under pressure from Johnson and rattle it against the advertising hoardings just to my right. They're all leaning over the hoardings there. Great collection of woolly hats, all in a line next to where Porro takes this throw. Then Bissouma, half-time approaching, and still National League and Premier League level at 0-0 here. Here's James Maddison, square to Bissouma. The crowd have very much decided that they're going to try and bait James Maddison, but I think he's seen this sort of thing before. Not necessarily at Tamworth though. Maddison through to Werner, then back to Maddison, 25 yards out. Whips a pass low to Johnson. Johnson now drives it low and across, and that's cleared away by Hollis, and it bounces out of play just in front of us down here. First goal of the day in the FA Cup. You've seen it, Betty Glover.
We've had a breakthrough, and it is Doncaster that have got the goal on the counter-attack. This is what they've been good at today. Luke Molyneux beats his defender one-on-one with the keeper and taps it into the bottom left. The Doncaster fans are enjoying this one. It's Hull 0, Doncaster 1.
Oh, goalkeeper slips. It's played back to him by Dragusin, but Kinski was able to regather his feet. Creaney was chasing after him, and he's been able, rather relieved fashion, put it out of play for a throw.
Yeah, lack of concentration from Dragusin in the centre-half position. Just plays a square pass to his goalkeeper, and he's not ready for it, but it just leads to another long throw. I don't like to see this one played short again. Put it on top of the keeper.
Yeah, he just lost his footing there, the goalkeeper, but was able to recover, put it out for a throw. Here's the latest long Tamworth throw, right into the hands of Kinski, who's able to leap high at the near post and catch it in front of his forehead and then deliver it downfield for Werner. Challenge in on him from Milnes. Werner again, and then Hollis, who is still up with a back heel from the central defender to set Inoru on his way, but actually Porro did very well there, chased Inoru and dispossessed him. But then Tottenham forced to put it out of play for another throw. This one 10 yards inside the Tottenham half. It's still 0-0.
Super pressure from the Tamworth players, not allowing the Tottenham players to get their heads up, to breathe, to get that thought process going, making sure that they're putting pressure on. I'm really interested here with Hollis and Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson has got his arms around the chest of Hollis, making sure that Hollis can't move. Hollis signalled to Peter Banks, and now Peter Banks, it's been taken quick, John. It
has been taken quick to Crompton, and Crompton fires it into the back post, but it was beyond Hollis. I thought for a moment it was going to drop to the central defender at the back post, but it was beyond him and through for a goal kick. And it remains this scoreline. If you're just switching on, if you're in your car, if you're out with a dog, listening to us via BBC Sounds, if you're in the bath, this is remarkable.
I wish I was. It's freezing.
Warm bath, hot bath.
Hot bath, yeah.
Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0, and we have 2.5 minutes of the first 45 to play. Tottenham are in a real contest here.
I just hope our listeners understand how this isn't a one-sided game, and that Tamworth are giving as good as they're getting, and Spurs are finding life very, very difficult here.
Yeah, and a strong Tottenham team. Even stronger it could be, with Son and Solanke and Kulusevski among the substitutes. They might be needed. Porro playing at 4, but that's cut out by Cockerell Mollett, and now Inoru tried to flick it past Porro. This is 10 yards in front of us, this FA Cup action. Inoru misplaces his pass back to Cockerell Mollett, out of play for a throw-in to Tottenham. Referee Banks is ordering them to come back a few yards. Just down to our right, we've got a crowd of all ages in front of us. We've got young grandchildren and old grandparents. Throw in to be taken by Porro. Maddison back to Porro. Bissouma behind him. And Bissouma goes square. Reguilon 30 yards out. Here's the 17-year-old now. Mikey Moore, his ball deflected up, bounces on the edge of the penalty area. Werner misses it. Johnson tried to leave it. Punks gets in on the action. He just tanked in there, made contact with the ball, and it was cleared away out of play on the halfway line. For some reason, Dragusin is challenging Creaney, even though it's actually a throw-in. The ball bounced back onto the pitch, and Creaney looks at him as if to say, "What are you doing?"
I think he quite fancied it as well, Creaney, didn't he? I think Dragusin was trying to sort of have a little bit of a mind game with him and let him know that he's up for the fight, but Creaney was like, "Yep, bring it on, not a problem."
No, that's not a problem. Cockerell Mollett with the volley away up towards Creaney, who's beaten by Dragusin. Comes back though, Milnes passes it to the right. Crumpton's going to do well to get there, and in fact Gray gets there first. Region is able to get there first and just tap it out of play for a throw-in, which is only 3 or 4 yards inside the...
I'd let Tonks take it. I really would. Get them up the pitch, let them go higher.
And there will be 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half, which looks as though it might be goalless. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Tamworth, Andy Peaks, their manager, certainly wouldn't want them to do that, as a foul is conceded by McGlinchey, by Milnes, and it's a free kick to Tottenham, 10 yards inside their own half. So it's been an uncomfortable first 45 minutes, and that is putting it mildly for Ange Postecoglou and Tottenham Hotspur. 0-0 here. Hull City 0, Doncaster Rovers 1 is the score in the other match currently underway. And later we will have 5 more ties for you, all covered on 5 Live. Commentary coming from St James's Park. Porro on the right hand side with the cross, but Inoru's able to get back in, put his foot on it and deflect it behind for a corner. Tottenham's got a corner now in the 1 minute of added time. Chance here for them to take the lead just before the break.
I was just keeping my eye on the centre of the goal again. Tonks and Mikey Moore having a little bit of an altercation in the middle. They're trying to get around Singh. Tonks is doing his best to relieve that pressure for his goalkeeper so he can come and claim it.
Here's the corner. Porro with the outswinger, headed away by Hollis for Tamworth. And there's the whistle. And they've got to half-time at 0-0. Tamworth of the National League strugglers against Tottenham, 8 times winners of the FA Cup. It's a goalless first half, and it's been really competitive.
It's been a super first half. I mean, we thought we'd come here and we'd see Tamworth with the backs to the walls. It's been completely the opposite. They've been able to run in behind. They've stretched Tottenham at times. Inoru on the left-hand side's been a danger man, but relatively comfortable for Tamworth, even from a defensive point of view. And James Maddison's had a couple of opportunities, but credit Tamworth, they've stayed in the game, got themselves to half-time at 0-0.
Yeah, 0-0. Maddison's had those chances. The best of them shot straight at goalkeeper Singh, but at the other end, that opportunity in the very first minute that Kinski had to save from Inoru, one of the Tonks long throws that ended up hitting the post and bouncing out, and then that effort as well from McGlinchey that was blocked behind. So it is even Stevens at the Lamb. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0, and Steve Crossman is here with us inside the ground.
Hi John, I'm down at the corner flag now at the end that Tottenham Hotspur were attacking in that first half. So all of the Tamworth fans behind me are going to see their team, they hope, flying forward toward this end in the second half. Let's jump back into the fans and speak to a couple. What are your names, guys?
Hayley, Karen, Imogen.
Now guys, you've all gone for Lamb headbands. You have really gone for it today. You've gone all out.
Absolutely, we're here to celebrate everything so far. They've done amazing so far, so brilliant.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah,
we need
absolutely.
the ears, you know, you've got to bring it.
What do you think about the first half?
Absolutely phenomenal. To be 0-0 at half-time is, for me, a dream world. I just can't believe that the pitch that our girls play on, we've got the likes of Madison on the pitch. It's just insane.
Absolutely brilliant. So proud of them. It's 0-0 for half-time. Brilliant.
Superb, absolutely superb. They've really done well already. Proud already.
The thing is, like you guys, you know, you have all these sort of mega stars are only a few yards away from you, but the Tamworth players, you wouldn't know. They don't look overawed. They've come as close as Tottenham after scoring, haven't they?
They've just done us so proud. They look focused, driven. They just want every ball, and you know, we knew that that's what they would be like because they wanted to show the fans, you know, and we followed them all the way through the cup. We follow them in the league, you know. Our friends are here Tuesday nights in the wind and the rain, and you know, for them to really put on a show for us today is just fabulous.
Well said, guys. Thank you very much. Good luck in the second half.
Well done.
Brilliant stuff. I mean, it's such a great scene down here. They're actually standing next to some fans who are wearing Tampa Bay Buccaneers bobble hats. Florida, this is not today. I imagine it isn't like that at Hull either in the FA Cup this afternoon. Betty Glover.
Oh, Steve, it's boiling here. Beautiful weather. It's the League Two side that have the upper hand. They've been brilliant on the counter the whole time, and that's what gave them the advantage. Luke Molyneux with a tidy finish. Hull have been the more dominant, but they're just so wasteful in front of goal. They are pushing for the equaliser now, but they're going to have to start getting more shots on target. It's Hull 0, Doncaster 1.
Thank you very much, Betty. Right, still to come then, before we get the second half here at the Lamb in Tamworth. We'll tell you for the first time today about Newcastle versus Bromley, which is coming up after this. We've been inside the Bromley dressing room this week speaking to a couple of players as well. So Tamworth 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0, half-time here in FA Cup round 3. Let's get the news on 5 Live with Bethan Holmes.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Strong winds are picking up again in Los Angeles, which are likely to hamper firefighters tackling wildfires there. 4 fires are burning, 2 of them largely out of control. At least 16 people have been killed. Here, and a man's been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after a female hospital worker at Royal Oldham Hospital was stabbed and left with life-changing injuries. It happened last night. Greater Manchester Police say officers are not looking for anyone else in connection to the incident. Tributes have been paid to a police officer who's been killed after being hit by a lorry while helping at the scene of another crash in Thirsk. A driver of one of the cars also died. Police Constable Rosie Pryor has been described as a loving mum, and her family say she'll be deeply missed. And hundreds of rail managers at Avanti West Coast have walked out in a dispute over pay while working on rest days. The RMT union says strikes are planned for every Sunday until the end of May.
It's the show that's got Westminster talking. Keir Starmer talking about his pet project.
The only door is bomb-proof. Getting a cat flapping it is a little bit difficult.
Boris Johnson talking about lying.
Big pants-on-fire liars.
Bridget Phillipson on the glamour of being Education Secretary.
There was also an Oscar on the desk and a BAFTA.
There was Ed Davey talking on a roller coaster. Everybody talks to me on my show. Well, apart from one.
Kemi Badenoch's walking across. Kemi, do you want to come on 5 Live?
No! Matt Shawley.
Monday to Friday from 2
on BBC Radio 5 Live. This is 5 Live Sport.
The FA Cup with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
We are live in Tamworth at the Lamb Ground. We're just on the side of the pitch here. Second half commentary to come. Tamworth 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0 in FA Cup round 3. We've just been offered if we want to climb up to the big TV gantry where the cameras are. I can tell you that is very much not in the risk assessment, so we will be staying put. Some scores for you in the men's FA Cup third round. Still Hull 0, Doncaster Rovers 1 in the women's FA Cup fourth round. Fulham 0, London City Lionesses 4. Hat-trick for Chantel Boyd-Lorca there. All the goals coming within an 8-minute period. Fulham of the 5th tier against the Lionesses, who are in the Championship. Sunderland of the Championship are away at 3rd tier. Exeter and Sunderland leading by 2-0. It's Newcastle 0, Nottingham Forest 0, and Manchester City 1, Ipswich of the 3rd tier 0. It's also the first day of the Australian Open tennis. Defending champion Aryna Sabalenka has kicked off her title defence with a win. Let's take you to Melbourne and hear from correspondent Russell Fuller.
Well, it's been a very wet start to the 15 days in Melbourne, with a delay of 6.5 hours on the outside courts after quite a downpour and a spectacular thunderstorm. But those top players that did get on court have all managed to win fairly convincingly. And Pat Cash has been on 5 Sports Extra this morning, casting an eye over Alex Zverev, the second seed, coming through, Pat, against Luca Pouille of France in 3 sets. And do you think this could be his year?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Zverev's been sort of knocking on the door for quite a few years, and he's, I mean, obviously the favourites have been Djokovic and Sinner and Alcaraz, but Zverev's always there and thereabouts. And watching today, I think he's worth keeping an eye on because he feel like it's a matter of time until he cracks one, but he has got a couple of, somebody like Yannick Sinner is almost unbeatable on the hard court. I have the feeling that he's gone back to the drawing board a little bit, Zverev, and trying to work out a bit more of an aggressive play. And by today's indication, he's much closer to the baseline. So what he typically does is go where Rafa does, all the way at the back of the court, and Medvedev, and start off the rally there, and pretty much sort of stay there and just use his 6'6" frame with his long arms and his ability to cover the court. He's a fantastic athlete, but he's been more aggressive now, and he struggled a little bit at times, but came through. Lucas Pouille is a very, very talented Frenchman who's been injured and came through in straight sets.
Other winners today in the men's draw, Kei Nishikori from 2-0 down. There was a winner from the Lebanon for the first time in the Open era in a Grand Slam singles for Hadi Habib. And in the women's singles, teenager Mira Andreeva went through. Last year's runner-up Jung Chin-wen, and the woman who beat her in the final, the two-time champion Arina Sabalenka, beating Sloane Stephens. She's a terrifying prospect, isn't she?
She is, but she's full of confidence because, it looked like for a while there that her career kept faltering at the semi-finals, and she used to have bad days with the ball spraying everywhere, didn't she? Went for the shots, she hits the ball incredibly hard. But look, Sabalenka, it's always tough to win back-to-back titles. But she's going for 3 in a row now, and you have to say she is obviously favourite, but it's. There's players coming up and nipping at her heels, and we'll have to see, but certainly a great start.
Tennis breakfast at 7 a.m. tomorrow on 5 Sports Extra. Australia cruised to a 4-wicket victory in the opening one-day international of the Women's Ashes. Earlier, batting first, England bowled out for 204. Alyssa Healy got 70 to help Australia chase down the total with more than 11 overs to spare. Let's hear from the England captain. Here's Heather Knight.
It wasn't an easy wicket. You never felt like you were in. There was always a little bit of movement, but I think those batters that get in, like myself, going on and scoring big and being really smart with your options. A couple of big partnerships, like we had a couple of 50 partnerships, but if you can get those to 100, you're really sort of affecting the outcome of the game. So we'll certainly look to do that. And then ball, I was pretty pleased. Like we bowled a few loose balls, but I think we created a lot of chances, which is all I asked the bowlers to do. And I think we really had that wicket-taking mindset, which is brilliant.
No side wants to go behind in an Ashes series, but you've done it previously and come back, and that memory, and quite a fresh memory from being 6-0 down last time and levelling the series. I mean, that does help when you go down early on in a series like this.
Yeah, of course, and because it is a quick turnaround, we don't really have time to think about it. We'll just get on that plane tomorrow, regroup, chat to our coaches and get a few things where they need to be come that game, and then we go again.
Henry Moran with the questions. The second ODI in Melbourne tomorrow. Coverage on 5 Sports Extra from 10:45. All the reaction on the latest TMS podcast. We're just next to the goal here at Tamworth. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. Second half commentary on the way. Just grab a quick word with Jan here, who's one of the photographers. I know you go home and away, Jan. What's the money shot for you today? What would it be?
Obviously a 1-0 win, so we can get through to the next round. But that'll be the ideal situation.
What about the photograph? You're obviously at the end where Tamworth will be attacking in the second half. I really hope for your sake, if they score, they turn left and not right.
Well, sometimes you can't control things like that, but any goal would be fine for me, I'd have thought.
Brilliant.
Rather than celebrating in front of me, I'd just be celebrating anyway.
Well, don't forget to click the take button.
I'll always click the button. I'll always follow the action straight away. So always taking a photo as soon as I can.
Great stuff, Jan. Thank you very much indeed. Jan, who's one of the local photographers here. Masters Snooker begins this afternoon at the London Alexandra Palace tournament. One of the Triple Crown events, of course. This year, the record 8 times champion Ronnie O'Sullivan isn't taking part. Our reporter Jamie Broughton is there. Why, Jamie, I guess?
Well, Ronnie O'Sullivan withdrew from the Masters on medical grounds on Friday, Steve. He had been playing in the Championship League earlier this week in Leicester, but he pulled out of that event before his final group game after being frustrated by his form in his defeat to Robert Milkins. And after that match against Milkins, O'Sullivan broke his cue, which ended up in pieces in the dustbin in the Players' Lounge before being retrieved. So O'Sullivan's not here, and his place has been taken by the two-time former champion Neil Robertson. Robertson's just underway against the Scottish legend John Higgins in the first round.
And you can watch that right now on BBC Two. The action's also on iPlayer, the BBC Sport app, and on the BBC Sport website. And in golf, Laurie Cantor and Tommy Fleetwood secured the 2 points needed as Great Britain and Ireland closed out victory in the 2025 Team Cup over continental Europe. In a few moments' time, the Tottenham Hotspur and Tamworth players will just squeeze through the little hole in front of me between one of the sort of big white brick buildings with the red shutters on and one of the temporary gantries here at the Lamb Ground. Of course, we'll stay with this game as long as it's going, and it could go all the way to extra time and penalties. Then we've got Newcastle versus Bromley at St James's Park, and Ian Dennis, well, whatever happens here, we could be in for another special afternoon there. You just don't know.
Well, the scenario is that regardless of the outcome, Steve, is that the Bromley players are just going to enjoy it. You know, the chairman said after last year's Wembley experience when they were promoted to the Football League, he described it as harrowing. The message is clear. They're just going to enjoy the occasion today regardless of what happens. Obviously they'll try and be competitive as long as they can, but the fact, you know, they're competing in the FA Cup for the first time as a league club, first time in the third round in their history, and they were formed, but incidentally, is the same year as Newcastle United. It's going to be a very special occasion for everybody connected with Bromley Football Club.
So we've got full commentary of that on the way, and before kick-off we'll be inside the Bromley dressing room. We'll hear from two of their players, potentially their centre-back pairing for the game this afternoon, who I had the chance to speak to earlier this week. They are very disappointed that they don't get the chance to come up against Alexander Isak, but they are absolutely over the moon at the opportunity that's in front of them. And Tamworth and Tottenham are both back out on the pitch here now at the Lamb Ground, 0-0. And I'm now standing, John Murray, right in front of the goal that Tamworth will be attacking in this second half.
Yes. I enjoyed your advice to the professional sports photographer to make sure that he clicked the button when he took his photos.
Well, you've got to do it, John, otherwise it doesn't work, don't you?
Excellent advice, I thought.
Thanks.
Very
Cheers.
good. So here we go, ready for the second half. And for anyone who's just switched on, start of the second half, it's Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. No changes at the break. I think I'm right in saying Inoru has come out. He's twice been down, and he's still not actually got himself into the Tamworth half, which he will do very shortly. But anyway, Tamworth with Singh in goal, Crompton, Cullinan, Liebert, Hollis and Cockerell Mollett are the back four. Then Tonks and Milnes with Morrison, McGlinchey and Inoru in the wide positions, Creaney through the middle, and Tottenham with Kinski in goal, Porro, Dragosine, Gray and Reguilon, Sarr and Basuma, James Maddison the captain, Johnson on the right, Mikey Moore on the left, and Timo Werner through the middle. And if they need them, Stephen Warnock, Son, Solanke, Kulusevski, Bergvall, all substitutes.
Well, I think they'll all be sat there thinking they might be needed, because the way that Tamworth approached that first half and the way that Spurs haven't really sort of pulled up any trees in the way that they've performed in the first half. He talked about complacency before the game, Postecoglou. I feel like he's got that completely wrong. He said his players wouldn't be complacent, and I think they have been in the first half.
But Tamworth have been so competitive, and it is Tamworth who got the second half underway in the red shirts, the mainly red shirts that fade into black around the shoulders, black shorts, red and black socks, against Tottenham in their light blue away kit with the navy blue trim. And it is Reguilon just down in front of us. We're very close to the action here. There are only 5 rows of seats in this main stand with a corrugated roof above our heads. And Tottenham with young Archie Gray, who's made such an impact. This is 9th consecutive start for the 19-year-old, with Romero and Van de Ven out injured. Curling ball forward for Tottenham from Reguilon, but they deal with that. Cullinan, Liebert, and Milnes able to play it away up towards Creaney, who was battling with Gray and wins a free kick. The Tamworth number 9. Yeah,
brilliant from Creaney. Had to get his body in front, and Gray, he just shouldered him and moved him round, and then Gray grabbed onto his shirt, pulled him back, and important free kick to win. And all the big men are going up from the back now. Can they get the right delivery and cause Spurs a few issues? It's all about the quality of delivery. But the one thing you've got to be careful of, John, is counter-attack. How quick Spurs will counter.
Yes, Timo Werner, of course, a real speedster, but only 1 goal this season. As Tamworth fire the free kick forward, but Cullinan Liebert in an offside position, and it's a free kick to Tottenham. in their own penalty area. So Tamworth, the outsiders in the FA Cup of those teams left in the competition this season. Dagenham and Redbridge, the only other National League team still in it. They play Millwall tomorrow night. That is on Sports Extra. But here, in the full glare of the spotlight, people will be watching this all over the world and watching Tamworth giving such a good account of themselves when there is a gulf between the clubs and the teams. Here's Dragosine, but not in the scoreline. 0-0. Dragosine giving it to Pedro Porro over there on the right, and then back to Johnson, then back to Dragosine, who under pressure from Inoru goes back to Kinski, takes a touch. Inoru putting him under big pressure. Reguilon comes back to claim possession of the ball. Ange Postecoglou, I don't doubt, has had some strong words at half-time with this Tottenham team, and they've got a bit of extra zip about them. And now here on the right-hand side, it is Tottenham with Porro, who rolls it across 25 yards out. First time touch from Reguilon, opened his instep, gave it to Sarr. Now back to Sarr, his ball curling into the area. That's headed away by Hollis for Tamworth. Tonks puts the challenge in on Bissouma, but made contact with neither ball nor man. Then from the angle, Madison with a shot, but that's saved. Good save from Singh, not too far away from him, but he was able to adjust, dive down to his right and parry it away. Madison, yet another chance. Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, good shot stopper, isn't he, Singh? Very alert to the situation. Madison, his third opportunity now. He's had a few sighters. He's getting in great positions, but credit Singh. That was a really clever save from him. Well, there was a couple of things that I learnt there, John. Anuru is lightning. We learnt that. But also Kinski. How calm is he when the ball goes to his feet? So relaxed, not phased at all. But now we've got an issue at the other end of the pitch.
Well, I presume in making that save, Jazz Singh, the goalkeeper, appears to have hurt his arm, and he's going to receive some treatment.
He's holding his ribs, you know, John.
No, maybe.
If you look when he was holding, you just see his right arm. His right arm now his left arm's holding onto his rib cage, and it's just whether he's fallen awkwardly on that side of his body, and he's getting treatment, which is a concern because he's been really good.
Yeah, that is a concern, and he's a very accomplished goalkeeper at this level. I was wondering what that announcement was going to be, that someone's got to move their car, which doesn't surprise me after trying to get into the car park today.
You gave up, didn't you, John? You went elsewhere.
There were cars everywhere. It was and someone, I don't know whether you noticed, had actually parked on the road in to the car park. It already had a police sticker on it.
I think that was the person's house. Do you know who they'd parked outside the car park? Was that outside the house? Because that was early on. It was causing chaos when I was coming into the car park as well.
However, that's kind of what you expect.
Yeah.
But Singh has got to his feet, and I think is going to be okay. The physio's still with him, but he, as I say, very accomplished. He works as a building surveyor, so they are part-time. Again, I can't stress that enough. But many of these Tottenham players, there's actually quite a number of Tottenham fans in the Tamworth setup as well. But he was the star, wasn't he, against Burton in the penalty shootout, when he saved a couple of penalties that saw Tamworth through to this glamour third round tie, and he's going to be able to continue, and play will restart with a free kick. One or two spectators just getting back to their places right in front of us as Crompton fires this free kick long, but Kinski comes and is able to stretch high and make the catch. 5 minutes gone in the second half, and I wasn't expecting to say this today, but there is the possibility, these ties have got to be decided on the day now, third round. There is the possibility of extra time and even penalties again for Tamworth. They've had quite a run, haven't they, in this competition. In the final qualifying round, they knocked out Robbie Savage's Macclesfield, then Huddersfield with the long throw from Tonks that went in for an own goal. So they've already knocked out a former winner of the FA Cup, and then the local rivals Burton in the previous round. And now Tottenham. That is quite a run. And here they are with Spurs on the right-hand side. Played forward for Sarr. Back again to Porro, then into the penalty area. Moore's come across all the way to the right-hand side, tries to go around the outside, turns back again, bustling. all energy, the teenager, and then back it goes towards Bissouma, closer towards the halfway line. So we can cross for goal news again from Hull, Doncaster, Betty Glover.
It is Hull 1, Doncaster 1. The Championship side have been pushing and pushing. They finally got their equaliser. It was Gustavo Puerta with another goal to add to his tally this season. Really well taken. And it is Hull 1, Doncaster 1.
So 1-1 there, 0-0 here. 7 minutes played in the second half. Stephen Warnock.
There's a lot made about Tonks about his long throw, but the work rate he gets through, how tenacious he is. He's almost man-marking Bissouma because they almost feel like they don't want Bissouma to build up the play deep. He's been tenacious in everything that he's done. He's put a lot of work in. I just wonder whether he'll be able to complete the 90 because of that work that he's putting in.
Yeah, free kick to Tottenham, 10 yards inside their own half. You know, they are unsettling. Tottenham, that's what they're trying to do, not giving them a minute on the ball. And, you know, if that's clearly part of the game plan, well, they're carrying it out expertly.
But there's being asked to carry it out and then being able to carry it out with the difference of the level of fitness as well. What Tamworth training twice a week, and that's a massive difference to try and make up.
However, for Tamworth, for many of these players, this will be the game of their lives, and it's 0-0. We've had that one chance in the second half for Madison, but Bissouma is going to slip here, which he does under pressure from McGlinchey. Now Enoru's onto it. Enoru running into the centre circle, but overran it. Bissouma put the challenge in. Then Tonks was in there again. Exactly that. You know, just making sure that Tottenham don't have time on the ball. Hollis with his Zidane turn. He rolled the ball and took it away from Sarr. They've absolutely loved that in the Lamb. And then Dragosin just clatters the ball away to the halfway line.
Oh, as soon as he comes off, that'll be clip that up, get me that on my social media. Beautiful.
And that was the central defender. That was the rugged central defender, Hayden Hollis, who has brought a bit of league experience and nous. But I wasn't expecting that.
No. Well, he's a similar stature to you, John, and I can't really see you doing that type of turn, so...
Yeah. Well, the sun now is trying to come out.
We were warned. Quite a few times.
We were. Quite a number of emails. Here's Madison, now to the left-hand side. Moore takes it on. Moore goes past Crompton, crosses, Vernon with a header, it's off the line from Hollis. Right on the line. The header bang on target, but straight at Hollis, who was able to head it away. Now Creaney and Dragosin are battling together. He almost had the shirt off his back, and it comes back to Gray, and Tottenham have got it inside their own half. Hollis the star again.
Yeah, brilliant from Hollis, making sure that he knew his keeper might be beaten, knew the danger would be pushed towards goal, gets himself on the goal line, and excellent header to prevent Spurs going ahead in this game. Timo Werner's eyes lit up at the back post as that cross came in.
Lovely cross from Moore with the outside of his right foot on the left-hand side. Now here is Porro, square from him to Madison, 25 yards out, pulls the ball to the left-hand side. Again, it is Moore, rolls the foot over the ball, then plays it back to the edge of the penalty area to Madison, who's trying to find a position, but he plays it square again. Oh, and then it's wasted. That's awful from Pedro Porro. Went for goal. It's a packed penalty area in front of him, and he hit the advertising hoarding for the local car company, which is high above the roof of the stand where the Tottenham supporters are in.
We just get the feeling now that fitness is starting to have a little bit of an effect on the game. A little bit tired from the Tamworth players. They're just looking a little bit ragged. And you see Mikey Moore going down that left-hand side, beating his player. Ben Crompton, which he hadn't done all game.
It remains Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. Commentary to come from St James's Park, the latest as well on Arsenal Manchester United. That's on BBC One this afternoon. But Newcastle United against Bromley has lots in it, so you'll hear from Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin later. But here's Enoru for Tamworth. Nice turn from him, takes it back out to the left-hand side, plays it infield to George Morrison, and then Milnes, Ben Milnes, long pass here to the right-hand side to McGlinchey. That's headed away well by Reguilon. But the right back for Tamworth, Crompton looking to get it back from McGlinchey down the right-hand side, but the ball just runs away over the artificial surface and out of play for a throw into Tottenham. Again, impressive stuff from Tamworth.
Yeah, really good. And Crompton's been exceptional in the right back position, not only defensively, but he's looked to get forward whenever he can. I just think at times, though, they can go a little bit more direct and put balls into the box. Don't try and be too cute.
Well, that wasn't cute from Tonks. He came in with a challenge on Reguilon and he knew about it. The Tottenham left back, the former Real Madrid man, Tom Tonks, said, have a bit of that. And here he is, Reguilon, who was unsettled by Tonks and sliced it straight out of play.
And he blamed the surface. There's not a bump on this pitch. You can't blame this. Exactly.
He saw Tonks coming.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
Well, we've got a brilliant view now of Tonks. I mean, he's 10 yards in front of us here. Look at his thighs, Stephen. Look at the size of them. Head, very, very closely shaven. Ball, he's spinning it in his hands. Up he comes, Tonks. There goes the ball into the Tottenham area. Headed down across his own box. Enoru with a shot. Then the chance for Cockrell Mullet, but that's blocked inside the penalty area. Cockrell Mullet holds his head. That was an opportunity. It's a corner, though.
Oh, every single Tamworth player has got their hands on the head. They can't believe it. They thought that was the moment, and it fell for Cockrell Mullet. He got a decent enough strike on it. Perhaps should have put his laces through it. He just tried to side foot it into the bottom corner. But just listen to the response from the Tamworth fans.
Corner. That's an escape for Tottenham. And it all came from the Tonks throw. What a view we had of that. And then two players have gone down in the box. It's Creaney and Dragusin. And now two Tamworth players are trying to get Dragusin up. I'm not sure he'll be able to get up by pulling his feet, which is what one of them was doing.
I'm not sure he's enjoying it, John.
Dragusin?
Yeah, he's not enjoying this at all. Creaney's been very aggressive with him in the way that he's played, and there's a little bit of a coming together. Creaney bounces straight back up on his feet and almost again gestures to Dragusin, come on then, get on with it.
Yeah, the Tamworth players are letting him know exactly what they think about this. About Dragusin, who's climbing to his feet and looks as though he might be thinking about going down again. And he's right. Oh, he's leaning over. His legs are bent, and he's adjusting his boot. And this is all before a Tamworth corner. You know, we've got half an hour to play.
He's gone again.
And he's gone down again.
No, he's just shoved Creaney down.
Right. And Creaney has turned, and he's saying to the assistant, did you see that? It's a yellow card for Dragusin and a yellow card for Creaney, who can't believe it. Hands on his head. Yellow card each before the corner was taken.
Yeah, the assistant referee's got to be watching this situation now and been telling Peter Banks what's going on. Creaney did nothing wrong there at all. Has yet picked up a yellow card.
Mills ready to take the corner into the near post, and it's caught, well caught by Kinski. Got up high, stuck to his gloves, then delivers it away downfield, and Werner is able to chest that down and play it back into his own half. Well, what a spell that was for Tamworth. They did everything but score there.
He's still limping, Dragusin. He doesn't fancy it. He's not happy with the physicality of Creaney.
Here's Moore, Mikey Moore at the other end for Tottenham, running at Crumpton, slips the ball through for Madison. Madison now in the full-back position, onto his right foot, in front of the Tottenham fans, 800, leaning over the advertising hoardings in that away end to our left, with all of the red brick partitions in it. Here's Madison again. Madison slips the ball past Crumpton. Now Moore tries the shot, but that's onto the head of Hollis, who hopped into the air, headed it forward. They're away on their counter-attack. Enoru, it's bounced off him. Dragusin's clearance hit Enoru, but bounces away out of play for a throw-in over on the far side. Let's just hear from Steve Crossman, who is behind that goal that Tamworth are attacking.
Yeah, it's fascinating watching the fight between Creaney and the centre-backs, John, because every single time the ball's down the other end of the pitch, Creaney goes over to Dragusin. There's a little couple of pinches on the body, there's a little couple of pushes, and he's not enjoying it at all, the centre-back. Creaney's just going to keep on doing it.
Moore at the other end away from McGlinchey, but then Crumpton stands up tall. The two of them, as Moore goes to ground, a tangle of legs, ball comes away for Crumpton, who's able to put it out of play for a throw next to the corner flag.
Yeah, he did well there, Crumpton. Crompton didn't dive into the challenge, committed only when he felt like he'd win the ball in the 1v1 with Mikey Moore.
This is absolutely captivating. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0, and we've got less than half an hour of the 90 to go. Cross from Region, cleared away by Cullinan Liebird for Tamworth. It's allowed to bounce out of play for a throw-in 15 yards inside the Tamworth half. What an effort they've put in thus far, Tamworth. They could easily have scored. Tottenham could have scored as well. A couple of important saves from Singh, it should be pointed out. Here's Moore. Moore goes all the way round McGlinchey into the area, shoots from the angle, cleared away by Hollis, comes out to the edge of the box. Sarr trying to find a position, but Tamworth quickly close him down. Back to Region, and again on the left-hand side, Madison through to Moore. He's been a danger in the second half. Moore goes through one challenge. Crompton trying to get it away. He's been fouled by Moore. Well played. Crompton wins the free kick for Tamworth.
This is the first I've seen of Mikey Moore. Really like him, but I've got to say the battle between him and Crompton has been really fascinating, because they've sort of ebbed and flowed the way they've gone about the game, especially in the second half. I thought Crompton in the first half dealt with him extremely well, but you can see the quality Mikey Moore has in 1v1 situations with a little bit more maturity. He's going to be a fascinating player to see where his future ends up.
Yeah. But the Tamworth right back, Crompton, he's another one. You see so many of them, don't you, at this level, who started out at a big club. He was at Sunderland as a youngster, still only 21 years old, and here he is now giving a very good account of himself against a young star of the future, Moore. Tonks goes round the outside of Basuma, still going now towards the dead ball line, but Basuma's able to get a touch in on that and plays it away. Tonks still herring around there against Region and Basuma, but Spurs have got it back.
Yeah, he just dealt with that situation so well, Basuma. He didn't panic. Tonks thought he perhaps was away from him down the right hand side, but got back in, nullified that danger.
0-0. Hollis, who we've already seen as a Dan roll and a clearance off the line, but the ball's played through. Now the chance for Werner, but out comes Singh and makes the save. 1-on-1, super pass, the first time really Spurs have found a pass through the Tamworth defence. Werner was in 1-on-1, Singh with the save.
I don't want to say it, but I'm going to, typical Timo Werner, great opportunity, 1v1 situation, never looks like scoring, doesn't look confident at all, but take nothing away from Singh. Really good save, out quickly, makes himself big at the feet of Timo Werner.
Moore now again inside the Tamworth box, right foot to left foot, and wins a corner. But that for Werner, the clearest chance of the match so far. Not
100%, and down in the left-hand side of the penalty area, and he's just got to open his body up and bend it in with that right foot, and he doesn't do it.
Tottenham take a short corner. They are going to make a change. They are preparing over there. I think it is definitely Bergvall. That's a help when it's Bergvall. The blonde hair easily seen on that long line of Tottenham grey coats that they've had to extend because the dugouts are so small here. They had to put out a row of chairs for them all to sit on along the side of the pitch. So Bergvall coming on shortly. They've gone to extra time at Hull City. We'll go there in a moment, but Tottenham building on the left-hand side with Madison onto his right foot, then now to the byline, slips it into the penalty area, Region across, now the chance, Werner with a shot, but that's blocked. What a block that was by Cullinan Liebird. The central defender threw himself in the line of fire and made the effective block. Werner, another opportunity, couldn't take it. Enoru now wins it back from Pedro Porro. Enoru over the halfway line, Tottenham trying to get men back. Creaney's in the middle. Enoru, though, it just runs away from him, but it comes off the Tottenham man, Basuma, and runs behind into the photographers for a corner to Tamworth at the other end.
How well have Hollis and Cullinan Baird done? I mean, that block there from Cullinan Baird smashes into him. He's still feeling the effects of it now. It knocked him off his feet. Such was the power of the shot by Timo Werner. But this is just brilliant defending from Tamworth.
So we're going to see a couple of changes. Tottenham are going to bring on Bergvall, but also Solanke. So Dominic Solanke, the record signing, is going to come on. And Sarr and Mikey Moore will be the two that they plan to take off. Corner then for Tamworth. Milnes takes it in, headed down into the near post but wide. And it was Cullinan Liebird, the man who made the block at one end, who was there with a chance, but in amongst a crowd of players could only head it down and wide.
I just don't think he got full connection on it. It almost looked like it came off his shoulder as it dropped down, and then you're hoping it drops to a Tamworth player. But just well marshalled out by the Spurs defenders and goes out for a goal kick.
Monashi Sundiri is going to come on for Callum Cockerell-Mullett, who's done very well actually at left back. Well, all of the Tamworth players have done well, and now we'll see the two changes. So Bergvall coming on into the midfield for it is Sarr who's coming off, isn't it? Yeah. And Mikey Moore, who has been bright, particularly in the second half, but he's had a long spell out, the teenager, and as I say, still only 17 years old, not played since October. So Dominic Solanke is on. So Ange Postecoglou turning to the club record signing and saying, go on then, win us this game.
Take it as a compliment. You have to if you're Tamworth, because they've had to make a change now to try and affect this game, and it's bringing on the star striker.
And that means Werner, having missed those two opportunities, moves across to the left-hand side. So Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. We will go to Hull City shortly, but here's Bergvall into the action. Bergvall going back towards the halfway line to Bissouma, now to Porro and Johnson together. It's taken on by Johnson down the right. In comes the ball, but Singh is able to drop onto it, the Tamworth goalkeeper. So let's bring in Betty Glover for the news on Hull City Doncaster Rovers.
Well, normal time finished, Hull 1, Doncaster 1. Doncaster got the opener early in the second half. Luke Molyneux on the counter, tidy finish. Despite Hull having most of the possession, they're just so wasteful in front of goal. They sorted that out, though, in the 80th minute for the equaliser. Pieter pouncing on a rebound. They could have won it. Shortly after that, Coyle 6 yards out, but he skied the ball into the empty stand. So it's off to extra time we go.
So more on that to follow. Commentary on Newcastle United against Bromley, coming right up. Coverage as well of Arsenal against Manchester United. That is on BBC One, the Arsenal-Manchester United match, if you're on your way home. As Ben Milnes being put under pressure, then a foul, and a free kick to Tamworth for the challenge on Milnes, who is just stretching there. I think he's feeling it, Stephen.
I'm not surprised, John.
Yeah.
I mean, the work rate these Tamworth players have gone through today, the effort that it takes, not just the physical output, but mentally and emotionally, it is draining on you. And all the build up to the game this week, all the interviews that they will have to do will have taken its toll.
So a free kick, which is hit long, looking for Cullinan Liebird on the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. In fact, it's come back to him rather fortuitously. Now on the left-hand side, Inoru slips though, and that means Tottenham have the chance to clear, which they've not fully taken. And actually Sundiri into the action, shoots goalwards towards the edge of the box, but that was deflected out of play for a throw into Tottenham, halfway inside their own half. It's a straight swap, by the way. Monashi Sundiri coming on to play on the left side of defence.
I think he got a little bit excited there, John. He was about 40 yards out and tried the shot, and I'm thinking, I know the TV camera's here, but relax.
Yeah, that's another part of the afternoon. We've got little TV camera towers dotted all around the tops of the stadium. Tottenham on the attack, ball from the left-hand side, chance at the back post, into the outside netting. The stretch from Brennan Johnson. The cross from the left-hand side from Region was good, right to the back post, but launching himself at it on the volley, actually hit it the wrong side of the post into the outside of the net.
Yeah, well, Sundiri, who's just come onto the pitch, loses Brennan Johnson at the back post. He gets drawn into the centre of the goal, and Johnson's eyes lit up as it came to the back post. He just couldn't quite get enough on it. And like you say, it goes into the side netting, but this game is still on a knife edge. It's still so close, and Tamworth is still being competitive, which is the most important part of the game.
And we really have to consider the possibility of extra time here, with 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes to play. They're into extra time at Hull City, 1-1 the score there, and 5 more FA Cup ties to come. We'll go to our next commentary for the team news in a moment, but Tottenham taking this free kick from centre field, down the left-hand side. Werner with a cross, right-footed to the back post. That's headed away by Sundiri. Still Spurs with it on the right flank now. Back it goes to Pedro Porro. Uses Bissouma, who's just behind him. Bissouma now again to Pedro Porro. Lots of movement as the ball is curled in towards the edge of the area. That's cleared away by Crompton. And now Bissouma being pressured by Inoru. And Tottenham are going all the way back with Dragusin and Archie Gray in possession. They change the point of attack. Here is Werner now. Werner moves infield away from McGlinchey. He's had 2 big chances in the second half, Timo Werner, and the score remains at 0-0. Tottenham though with Porro, his cross, that's walloped away out of play by Hollis and is kept in over there on the right hand side. We'll go for that team news just in a moment, but Tottenham here are asking serious questions. Maddison now forward towards Bergvall. Tottenham played all the way back towards the halfway line, so let's have a go then. Let's see if we can bring in Ian Dennis with that news from St James's Park.
Well, I'll be as quick as I can, John, but Newcastle United have made 9 changes. Only Dubravka and Joel Linton have remained in the Newcastle United starting 11. There's no Isak whatsoever. They do include Sanusi, a young 17-year-old, on the bench. And as for Bromley, a couple of changes. Grant suspended, Elleray replaces him, and Congreve comes in for Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis. Here's Bergvall, left-footed ball in from the right-hand side. That's headed away by Hollis, and it bounces out for Milnes. And Tamworth are on the move again. Tottenham quickly have got men back. Creaney's just down in front of us. They've dragged it back, played it to Milnes, and chipped it out of play. They've grown in front of us. Fists are waved, but I think it was out.
I think it was just out, wasn't it? Creaney just playing his part in front of the fans. He knew it was out as well, but just trying to keep this Tamworth crowd active and involved in the game, which they've been throughout.
Yes, I didn't want to say that too loudly there with all of these Tamworth people in front of us. Region with the throw. This is for Solanke, but then Morrison has bundled over. He got himself cleverly in between Solanke and the ball, and down it went. Yes, commentary to come on Newcastle United against Bromley. Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin in positions. 3 o'clock kickoffs those, just like Arsenal Manchester United, but it is busy around 3 o'clock, so we'll have all of that covered for you, as well as the 2 matches in the Premiership in Scotland this afternoon. Premier League, you're having a laugh. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. The Tamworth supporters enjoying themselves royally as Cullinan Liebert heads the ball into the ball. Oh, Tonks! It bounced off Tonks goalwards, and Kinski had to backpedal quickly and catch the ball almost underneath the crossbar. And now Kinski again. This time it's Morrison putting him under pressure, but Tottenham come forward. Oh, that's lovely and silky from Bergvall in the centre circle to take it away for Tottenham. And then Region to Werner. Werner with a little pass to Maddison. Maddison across, took a deflection, and then it's cleared away. It was right underneath that. Morrison to get it away. Tottenham come again. 15 minutes to play. 5 Live from the BBC, bringing you true FA Cup drama. Here at the Lamb, a throw-in down the left for Tottenham. Taken by Region into the box, bounces away from Werner, cleared away by Crompton. Now Archie Gray. Creaney is making a nuisance of himself, and he's done that effectively as Inoru runs into Pedro Porro, and it's a yellow card for the Tottenham right back from referee Banks. Not absolutely sure about that, Stephen.
No, I'm not at all. I think he just read the situation, hadn't he, Porro, and just ran the same line that Inoru wanted to run. But it's another opportunity now for Tamworth to hit that long ball, take this big centre-backs up the pitch, and this is an opportunity for them to perhaps feed on second balls.
Another couple of Tamworth substitutes are coming up, so they're going to bring on Alex Fletcher into the midfield, and Kai Williams as well. A couple of midfielders coming on into the action, into the closing stages of the 90 minutes with the score still 0-0. Creaney for to Hollis, who I think was offside. Yes, he was. The flag was up, so it's a free kick to Tottenham on the edge of their own box. So Andy Peaks over there, who's been very much in the spotlight this week, becoming full-time, so he's going to give up his job, his college job, and manage Tamworth full-time, as Werner swings a pass right-footed out to Brennan Johnson against Sundiri, comes away with the ball into the penalty area. Bergvall, but the Tamworth players, they are permanent motion as Bergvall plays it across, cleared away to comparative safety. And in these last 15 minutes, as Stephen Warnock's been saying, this is when Tamworth's energy is really going to be tested. And now Werner, left side of the area, just lifts the ball into the penalty area, headed down and away by Cullen and Liebert, and then Tonks is able to clear it away. Still, they are level at 0-0 on this cold, dry afternoon in Staffordshire. Maddison tries to wriggle his way through. That bounces down. McGlinchey is going to take it on. McGlinchey rides the challenge. Tonks, though, wasn't able to pass it forward. And Maddison picks out Johnson again on the right-hand side. Johnson round Sundiri. In comes the cross. Hits the chest of Hollis and then is swept away on the edge of the box towards the halfway line. Tottenham now, they're assuming control here in these last now 12 minutes. Werner to Maddison. Bergvall scoring the winner against Liverpool on Wednesday night in the semi-final. Now into the penalty area, Johnson across, Singh got his hands to it to parry it down and then cleared away again by Morrison to the halfway line. But Tottenham are coming again and again now, Stephen, at Tamworth.
Yeah, the Tamworth manager there just gesturing to his players to calm down, to relax under pressure. It's easier said than done when you're on that pitch and you feel that you're against the ropes a little bit. It becomes a little bit more difficult to pick your head up and pick that pass when you're under pressure.
It could be coming for Tottenham. It's got that feel about it just now. Tamworth could do with managing the game, as the top clubs do, couldn't they? I think if they get a chance just to slow this down slow and stop the Tottenham momentum, I think they need to take it. Here's Archie Gray again. Reguilon, Werner, back to Reguilon, and then Maddison trying to find some space, allows the ball to run across his body, and then rolls the pass out there to Porro on the right flank, and Maddison again. This time it is Porro who's able to take the ball back towards the halfway line. Maddison, who's had a number of opportunities, couldn't find a way past Jasbir Singh, who's been one of the stars, but I think they've got all equal billing, these Tamworth players today, the way that they've played. Now Werner away from Crompton, who's also caught the eye, the right back. Bissouma, this Tottenham side here, multi-millionaire in terms of the monies that was paid for them, internationals, most of them. Crompton comes across his own penalty area and plays the ball away, which will roll out of play on the halfway line. I think he'll probably now, Andy Peakes, take this opportunity, certainly to make the substitutions, but I think it will just break things up a little. So here they come.
Yeah, I think that's the ideal situation, isn't it? Just take the sting out of the game a little bit with these two substitutions, but also just to bring a bit of energy back into the team. The two midfield, Ben Milnes has put such incredible effort into that midfield, so he's run himself into the ground.
Let's just cross behind the goal at one end to Steve Crossman while these substitutions are made.
It's funny, John, the Tamworth substitutes who have just been warming up right in front of me, they're so captivated by what's going on, they keep forgetting that they're supposed to be going through their warm-up and impressing the manager. So every so often they just shake their legs out and then they just stand stock still watching what's unfolding in front of them. And that moment then, just before the subs were made, all of a sudden they came absolutely thundering past me. So I've got to make sure not to step too close to the touchline. It reminds me of being in an F1 pit lane as they just thunder past you, trying to show the manager, presumably, I could do a job, Gaffer.
Very much so. Very tight surroundings here. So the captain, Milnes, and Inoru are off. As I say, he's taken a couple of big hits, Inoru. And Kai Williams and Alex Fletcher are the two who come on into the hurly-burly of an FA Cup third round tie, the Emirates FA Cup, here at the Lamb Ground, so named after a pub that used to be close to the entrance to this football stadium, just close to the town centre. We've got a glimpse of Tamworth Castle on the way here as Dragosin is able to take the ball over the halfway line and pass it to Porro, and then Johnson tries to return the pass, but it bounces down and Creaney gives it forward now. Sundiri's off down the left-hand side, still going, trying to get round the outside of Bissouma, and as Steve Crossman was explaining, that is exactly where the substitutes are warming up. And it looks from our view here, so there's no space at all, and it's out of play for a throw.
John, that was actually Kai Williams, the substitute, and I was wondering whether he'd be a pacey winger and whether he'd have that pace to continue to help Tamworth go up the pitch, and he certainly had that. Then straight away tried to run Bissouma, just lost his footing ever so slightly.
Yep, straight into the action. The number 14, who is playing in the Enoru role, he did exceptionally well, didn't he, in the time that he was on the field. As Creaney and Dragosine for the umpteenth time tangled together, and it's a free kick to Tamworth, manhandled down by Dragosine, and a free kick and a yellow card as well.
Yeah, I think he's give that to Archie Gray, or it might have been...
I think it was a Tamworth player.
Was it for gesturing that it should have been a yellow card?
I think so. Whoever it was who received it, it's Tonks who was objecting and reacting, so whether it was him who was yellow carded, I'm not sure. Tamworth are already in another couple of substitutes, and Chikuna is going to come on, who's been one of the stars of the season. Chikuna plays in the number 10 position, and also Chris Ray as well, which is a great story, which we'll come to when he comes on. But the free kick is taken out towards the right, and free kick given to Tottenham. Play it forward. We've got 7 minutes to play. Creaney gets away from Archie Gray and then goes down. Gonna have to get him a feet here. It's just above the heads of all of the spectators down there, and they've been able to clear it away. Tottenham up towards Madison, who will run it away. Creaney might not have got on the score sheet, but goodness me, Tottenham know all about him. And then the short pass from Bergvall straight out of play behind Pedro Porro, throw into Tamworth.
Yeah, he's still gesturing towards the fourth official. Why didn't get that foul, but that might be the last of the action for him.
Confirmation it was Tonks who was booked. Okay. I think you're right, Stephen. I think probably for intimating that it should be a yellow card.
Someone on the bench has just been yellow carded from Tamworth as well.
They have, and we are now going to see Tom Tonks leaving the action. Well, he is on the yellow card. So Nathan Chikuna is coming on. 8 goals this season, scored a couple of goals against Robbie Savage's Macclesfield in the 4th qualifying round, and we will also see who is it, the other player who's coming. It's Creaney.
It's Creaney,
yeah, Creaney is making way, which, I mean, it's going to be Chris Ray who's going to come on, the American, born in New York. But the great story there, Stephen, is he is the son of Christopher Ray, who played for Arsenal. Now his son is playing against Tottenham, and Christopher Ray, under Arsene Wenger's management, won the double with Arsenal and played in the FA Cup final in that double winning season. So his son is on the field. There is a story right there, unless I'm very much mistaken. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. 5 minutes to play, and they have the potential, Chikuna and Chris Ray, in the closing moments of the 90, and then potentially an extra time to cause further problems to Tottenham Hotspur. So it was the Tamworth coach who was booked, Neil Champalivier. It is Tottenham in possession.
I think you're going to get a phone call tonight from Robbie Savage for mentioning that about Macclesfield about 4 times getting beaten.
Well, they've had a brilliant season, Macclesfield, as I have said on many occasions this season, pushing for promotion. It is Tamworth, breaks away for them. The ball is passed forward by Morrison. Now over there on the left-hand side with Chikuna. Tamworth come again down the left-hand side. Williams onto this. Williams cross right across the 6-yard box and beyond and behind for a goal kick.
Oh, you just had your heart in your mouth if you're Kimsky, thinking, is that going to just veer into the top corner as he went to cross the ball? It was almost a shank of a cross, and it's one of them that so often can catch your goalkeeper out. but they look dangerous with the substitutions that they brought on Tamworth, which is very good sign.
He's got a bit of power in him, hasn't he, Nathan Chikuna? He's, as I say, playing in the number 10 role, but he is very solidly built. Here's Williams and Chikuna now, the number 20 on his back. Forward again to Williams on the left-hand side. A goal now. Were Tamworth able to score a goal now? That could be the upset right there. Ball played into Chikuna, who goes down inside the penalty area. Bergvall, long from Bergvall, lands almost in the path of Werner, but Cullinan Liebert for Tamworth got there with an outstretched leg, and the referee spotted a handball by Werner, and it's a free kick to Tamworth. Sad to say, sorry to say, I do feel for him, but Werner's not had the best of days.
No, he's underperformed, hasn't he? I think there's a lot of eyebrows raised when he came to the club as to why he was actually bought in. He doesn't really have the quality, not really added too much since his days at Chelsea. Hasn't seen a huge improvement. He's definitely a confidence player, but he's had the biggest opportunity and he hasn't taken it.
Andy Peakes has made all 5 of his substitutions, but if we have extra time, which is looking increasingly possible, with only 2.5 minutes to play, in fact 2 minutes to play now, obviously he'd be able to make another change in extra time were it to be necessary. I can barely believe it that we have the prospect, the distinct possibility of extra time between these two.
Well, we were both at Leeds last night and we watched Harrogate against Leeds and we thought what a performance that was from Harrogate, but this is absolutely outstanding so far from Tamworth, and if they were to concede late on, I think they'd be furious with themselves because they've stayed within this game for so long, but also been a danger as well. Whereas Harrogate last night didn't really offer too much, did they?
No.
Potentially should have had a penalty, but Harrogate have caused problems.
Here's Morrison for Tamworth. It comes together with Bissouma, but the ball ran for Tamworth. Chikuna plays it now, but beyond Crompton, and the ball will run through to the Tottenham goalkeeper, Kinski, who he's on for a second consecutive clean sheet, Kinski, but a long pass now looking for Werner, but Cullinan Liebert's able to come across and play it out. Crompton couldn't keep it in. It's a throw in for Tottenham, so we're going to have 6 minutes of added time eventually once we get there. So there is plenty of time for a late winner at either end. Tottenham attacking. Werner's ball in. Cullinan Liebert is there again to volley it away towards the halfway line. Gray is fouled by Ray, and it's a free kick to Tottenham on the halfway line. 30 seconds to play, and then 6 minutes of added time. And McGlinchey comes in with a challenge on Reguilon.
There's a spell in the game where I thought they're just starting to feel the effects of it. They've got a second lease of life and they've got that second wind and they're starting to be competitive again. They're snapping into the challenges. That perhaps has come from the 5 substitutions that they've been able to make.
Yeah, I think very much that's the case. Reguilon to Werner, but Werner runs into Chikuna, and Chikuna turns, finds the ball at his feet, plays it to Ray, but Dragosine just leaned into Ray, and therefore he couldn't take possession. The crowd are about to find out that there'll be 6 minutes. Yes, 6 minutes is treated quite positively by the Tamworth supporters, who think that they might be able to snatch it themselves. Throw in over there in that corner where all of those people are. In fact, there are more of them now, aren't they? They're standing on top of the wall, and more heads have appeared over the top of that wall as well, 5 or 6 of them to the left of that. This is the hottest ticket in Tamworth as the ball is played into the area but runs all the way through to Singh.
There's people hanging out the windows on the house.
Yes, they have. They've opened their windows. There are people leaning out of the windows.
It looks like he's on the toilet looking out the window of the bathroom. Brilliant.
I'd like to think that's not the case. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. 5 Live from the BBC. Forward and over the top for Tottenham. Down the right. We might well get another half an hour plus of this. How uncomfortable would that be for Tottenham? Stephen put it into some sort of context for us. If you are one of these Tottenham players, how are you feeling right now?
Well, you know it'd be very difficult coming here in the first place, and it could be tough, and it's about the mindset and how you approach the game. But the way that they've gone up against Tamworth, they've played beyond themselves. But Tottenham have been poor, but they've been made to be poor by Tamworth. So the Tottenham players will be bitterly disappointed. There'll be an element of embarrassment as well, because they haven't been able to put them to bed, and they haven't been able to really create too many opportunities.
We've got 3 minutes of added time to play. Tamworth in the third round of the FA Cup. They've never been in the fourth round of the FA Cup. So that would be real history, as well as the achievement, if they're able to pull this off, of knocking out Tottenham. This would be one of the upsets. And Tottenham, they've not been knocked out of the FA Cup by a non-league team for 110 years. It could happen. It is 0-0. And Tottenham launch another attack with Pedro Porro, and that has actually caught Morrison in the you-know-wheres, I think. So therefore he's gone down in some pain, and we might have a little moment or two just to reflect on what we've seen so far while he recovers.
I think it's been brilliant, John. I really do. I think the way Tamworth have acquitted themselves, I thought this would be really tough afternoon for them. I thought Spurs had moved the ball quickly. They'd show their quality, show their class, but they've been, in that word that Ange Postecoglou said they wouldn't, they have been complacent.
Let's see what's happening in the Hull City Doncaster Rovers match. Betty Glover.
We've got 10 minutes left in the second half of extra time. Neither side can find the lead. Best chance was Hull with a free kick outside the box, but Pedro fired it wide. Hull have the worst home record in the Championship, and I'm not surprised watching this. Hull 1, Doncaster 1.
Still Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. Extra time just a couple of minutes away, as Ray wasn't able to take the ball on for Tamworth on the halfway line. One of the outstanding central defenders, Cullen Liebert, got one touch, now another one through the middle to Ray, who's battling with Dragosine, tries to get past him, but the whistle's gone for Ray's manhandling of the Tottenham central defender.
He'll be delighted to get out of here, Dragosine. He's had such a tough afternoon. Both Craney and then now Ray, both physical players, and they played on Dragosine, who hasn't really fancied it.
As Madison has been blatantly pulled back by McGlinchey. I'm surprised if that's not a yellow card. Actually, yes, it is. A yellow card for the Tamworth number 19. Had a handful of Madison's shirt. Yes, Dragosine, who was really pulled from pillar to post by Creaney, who was then substituted. Dragosine was probably relieved to see that, as the ball is played in by Reguilon into the penalty area. Cullen and Liebert away. One or two Tamworth supporters now just screaming on words of encouragement, but they have been able to clear it up to Ray, who's gone down very easily there, but wins the free kick against Dragosine. Yes, when Dragosine saw Creaney disappearing, sigh of relief, but then Chris Ray has come onto the field and carried on from where Creaney left off.
He's just looked so uncomfortable, hasn't he, Dragosine, since he's almost come into a Spurs shirt, but then even more so today.
Well, that noise is coming out of the shed on the opposite side of the Lamb. Tamworth encouragement. Free kick on the halfway line. The central defenders have gone up. Goalkeeper Singh takes this long and left-footed. Cullen and Liebert heads it on into the Tottenham area. It's Solanke back inside his own box, tangling with Hollis. Oh, it's been won by McGlinchey. Shoots left-footed, but it's blocked behind. Defender was in there. There were a couple of defenders, both Madison and Basuma, actually blocked it from reaching Kinski, and it's out for a corner.
Oh, he saw his name in the headlines, didn't he? He saw his name on the back of the papers tomorrow, but all he had to do was square it. He had two players alongside him that had a simple tap in. Spurs get away with one.
They have, but it is still a corner that Alex Fletcher is going to take, the number 6, the substitute. Fletcher's corner is a deep one that's headed goalwards. That's blocked, comes back and is driven in, but straight at the goalkeeper by Cullen and Liebert. He didn't get a clean contact on it, and it was straight at Kinski, who was able to make the save on the goal line. Now Tottenham pull forward. This is the last minute. Bergval's cross glanced on, cleared away by McGlinchey. Bergval's header back into the Tamworth area, bounces harmlessly through to goalkeeper Singh.
What a game of football. What a game. End-to-end stuff. Tamworth giving as good as they've got. And then perhaps then they had that opportunity as it fell for Cullinan Liebert to get that strike. He almost stubbed his toe as he hit it, John. It wasn't the greatest of strikes. And Kinski in the Tottenham goal was delighted to see it just almost trundle into his arms.
And that is it. We will have extra time between Tamworth and Tottenham. Whoever would have thought it? Tamworth 96 places below Tottenham. Tamworth, the lowest place club left in the FA Cup this season, and they've taken Tottenham to an extra 30 minutes.
And fully deserved. They've done everything that was asked of them today, and more as well. They've competed. They've been a danger when they've gone forward, but defensively, Hollis and Cullinan Liebert have been outstanding in the way that they've defended. But they've been a threat, John. Spurs, they haven't been able to deal with it, and they've been poor.
The thing is as well, the players that Andy Peakes has brought on to replace the starting players, they've also created threats and posed problems for Tottenham. So the two sets of players are gathered out there in groups out on the artificial surface here at the Lamb. And Steve Crossman, I'm guessing, Steve, you're still behind that goal to the right.
Yeah, I've just made my way over to the corner flag. I just feel like we've had absolutely everything live on 5 Live this afternoon. The only thing we haven't had on one of these great programmes is like a relative of one of the players. So let's put that right now. Delighted to say we can speak to Megan, who's next to me now. Also happens to be Tom Tonk's sister. Hi, Megan.
Hello.
Now, I came over because I thought, you've got a massive tinfoil Tom Tonk's number 4. Yeah. I said to you, I can see the resemblance, and you said...
Absolutely not.
Because?
I've got the good looks.
And I've got the better hair.
You must be so proud.
I'm so proud of him. I'm just so happy he's getting the recognition that he deserves because he worked so hard for it. I'm just so proud of him.
What has it been like for him around the house the last couple of days, knowing that this... I mean, he must have been afraid to take the bins out.
Well, he's definitely scared to sell his sandwiches these days. I know that for a thing, but no, it's amazing, and I'm just so proud and happy for him. I couldn't be happier.
The last 5-6 weeks since the Huddersfield game, it's just been unreal for him. The interviews, the podcasts, the time on telly, and the fact that he's just had a little one and seeing him walk out today with his little one, it's something that's going to live forever for the whole family, and not just for the family, for the fans here as well. It's just absolutely been amazing for him, and he's got to enjoy it, and we've got 2 extra time, so let's hope we can nick one in the end.
Sorry, I didn't even say, look, are you brother?
Yeah, I'm the better looking brother.
And you just mentioned his sandwich business, which is what he does for a day job. So tomorrow morning, he could be about to knock Tottenham out of the FA Cup. We'll be up at 5 a.m, 4 a.m. to get ready for his job?
I really just don't know. Probably because he works so hard in everything that he does, so he will make it to work because that's the type of person he is. He just works so hard for everything, so more than likely, yes.
Brilliant to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's just do a quick poll over here. If you think Tamworth are going to win... Well, there you go. Not sure what result I was expecting. More FA Cup action, of course, coming up. We will keep you right up to date with all of it. Arsenal-Manchester United kicks off at 3. Chris Wise.
Yeah, this is the team that have won the most FA Cups against the current holders, proper heavyweights of this competition, and both teams are strong. 3 Arsenal changes from their League Cup defeat to Newcastle. Jorginho, Marino and Jesus in for Partey, Rice and Trossard, who are all on the bench. Ruben Amorim had already told us that goalkeeper Altay Bayindir was going to play ahead of Andre Onana. The other Man United change, Alejandro Garnacho in for Ahmed, who Amorim says has a small injury issue, but he is amongst the United subs.
And you can watch that one on BBC One. Crystal Palace Stockport is a 3 o'clock kickoff as well. Conor McNamara.
36 league places between these two. Palace have had a bug sweep through the training ground this week, so Oliver Glasner makes 5 changes. Turner starts in goal, Riyad and Klein join the defence, Kamada in midfield, and there's a start for Eddie Nketiah in attack. For Stockport, 4 changes from their defeated home to Mansfield last weekend. They also changed their goalkeeper. Corey Adai gets a start here, and Isaac Olafay joins the attack.
You'll be able to listen to that one on 5 Sports Extra. We'll join Newcastle Bromley. As soon as we are done, we'll go all the way with this game. Of course we will. You can listen to it if you want to on BBC Local Radio, of course. But Tamworth is where it's at. and we're almost ready for extra time, John Murray.
Yes, I'm not sure Staffordshire has ever seen anything quite like this. Tottenham are going to make another couple of changes, and now it's the club captain, Son Heung-min, who is being thrown into the action. And I know, in fact, it's going to be a triple change.
Dragashin's gone.
Dragashin is off.
He's delighted.
Well, he's been put out of his misery, frankly, Stephen.
Yeah.
Jed Spence is coming on into the central defence.
And Kulusevski for Maddison as well.
Well,
I just saw you looking at your notes, Johnson.
Yeah.
I think you saw that one.
But I think now to see Kulusevski, Solanke already on as the substitute, Son's come on, and now we've got this central defensive partnership again of Spence and Gray, haven't we?
Yeah, they've rolled the dice, haven't they? Perhaps a little bit later than Spurs fans will have wanted, and maybe the players on the pitch would have wanted as well. Perhaps he would have liked to have seen it with 10 or 15 minutes to go of the normal time, but what an opportunity for Tamworth.
So, if you've just switched on, do not adjust your set. Tottenham has gone to extra time, and Tamworth are already on the attack, and a shot from Chikuna that flies away over the top of the crossbar above the Tottenham fans in that covered stand behind the goal kick. It remains 0-0.
Well, why not take the shot on Chikuna? As it fell to him, it just opened up nicely, just leaned back as he hit it, blazed it over the bar. But promising start to the first half of extra time for Tamworth.
Yep, they've carried on, really. More of the same from the National League side. A long crossfield pass from Jed Spence, and now into the action, Son Heung-min, who wins a throw-in over there on the left-hand side that Region is going to take. Region with the throw into the penalty area. It bounces away from Kulusevski. Crompton was not able to prevent it from going out of play for a corner from the left-hand side. So an early corner in extra time for Tottenham. Possibility of extra time and penalties if necessary. Tamworth have won 2 penalty shootouts already this season, including Burton in the previous round. Corner taken short by Son to Kulusevski. Son then picks out Bergvall. Square from him. Spence knocks the ball up and then gives it to Johnson into the penalty area. Kulusevski flicked to Bergvall in the D. Bergvall then back to Basuma, and then Basuma's pass was cut out by Williams for Tamworth, and then Williams and Porro come together at the same time. But referee Banks says that Williams caught Porro, and it's a free kick just down in front of us.
It's not a yellow card. Come on, it's not a yellow card. The 2 players have gone for the ball, and it's a fraction off being a great challenge, but both fully committed. Kai Williams thought he could get there, very, very close to getting there.
Well, I think you can get a flavour of what the Tamworth fans in front of us think of that decision. There we are. No way, Pedro.
That wasn't me.
No way, Pedro. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. Pedro Porro just lifts up the side of his shorts as if to demonstrate to the Tamworth supporters that there was damage. Here is Jed Spence now, 0-0, 5 live from the BBC. All of the 3 o'clock action to come. Commentary from St James's Park. As Pedro Porro now being booed, curls the ball into the back post, header away by Crompton, but only to Son. Son dancing across the corner of the penalty area, then lays in the ball from Region, blocked by the legs of goalkeeper Singh, then cleared away by Morrison on the edge of his own penalty area. Tamworth look to break with Kai Williams. Williams being chased by Porro, and the Tottenham defender is able to play it off Williams and out of play for a throw into Spurs. Here's Kulusevski flashily into the action, one of Tottenham's players of the season. Kulusevski rolls the pass for Johnson to run onto. Johnson's ball across straight into the path of Hollis for Tamworth, who's able to control and chip it out of play for a throw-in down the right for Tottenham. We've already had 3 minutes of added time this memorable afternoon here at the home of Tamworth Football Club. The flags draped on the back of that red corrugated iron wall to our right. Throw into Kulusevski into the penalty area, wins a corner off the substitute Fletcher. Corner for Tottenham. Down to our right. Porro is left to it by Kulusevski. Big red flag, black writing, Tamworth FC pride of Staffordshire, it says. Well, what a performance it's been from them today. Porro with this outswinger. There was an attempted flick goalwards by Johnson. Back though to Porro. His ball in. That's headed away by Cullen and Liebert. Back to Porro. Quick control from him against Chikuna. And then Bissouma. Bissouma now. This is strong pressure from Tottenham. Early stages of extra time. Bergvall pulls it across. Cullen Liebert was able to clear. They've got some power on there now, Tottenham, if they're able to harness it. Porro's ball in, all the way to the back post. Crompton's underneath that and lifts it, and it bobbles and bounces around in all of those heads behind the goal.
Yeah, it's like a heavyweight boxing match now, isn't it, where you've bought on the big guns and you start to throw haymakers and you just feel like one's going to land. Pressure is mounting now from Spurs, and it's about concentration now. It's about communication for these Tamworth players as the minds start to get tired and the bodies.
Yeah, Son to take this, just backs into all of the photographers, and then ball into the near post, takes a flick but bounces down and is cleared away by Sunderi. And now Chikuna in his own left back position. That's asking a lot of Williams there, trying to control that. It ran away from him, and Tottenham have got it back on the edge of their own penalty area. This is another little spell in this match, Stephen Warnock, that Tamworth have got to ride their way through.
Yeah, but they've done it before and they can do it again. I was just watching Kai Williams there, and I'm not so sure he needs to make that run forward.
Header forward from Porro. Johnson on the edge of the area, very congested, and he runs into red and black. The red and black of Tamworth, and Crompton's able to eventually head it away to McGlinchey, who slices it out of play. In fact, it's just kept in there over on the far side by Tottenham. And Tamworth actually might be able to make something of this. McGlinchey approaching the halfway line, but runs into all of that Tottenham blue, although Tamworth do keep possession. Go back to Crompton, who passes it straight into the back of his teammate, so that bounces for Tottenham again. I can tell you that the first tie of the day, Hull City against Doncaster Rovers, has gone to penalties, so more on that to come. Penalties to decide the winner between Hull City and Doncaster Rovers, and we might possibly have that here in about half an hour. Already 6 minutes played of extra time under these high clouds in the higgledy-piggledy surroundings of the Lamb Stadium. Long and downfield by goalkeeper Singh, which is safely headed back by Gray to Kinski, and then quickly out from him to Jed Spence, who's become much more a part of things for Tottenham over the course of recent weeks with all of the injuries that Tottenham have in central defence. Pedro Porro, but this is an attack at walking pace almost from Tottenham, and that's blocked away by Morrison. And here's one for Chris Ray to chase, but Gray was always the favourite to get there first for Tottenham, and the ball is played across to Reguilon, and long pass from Reguilon, which Sunderi gets his head to. It's turned across the 6-yard box, but no one's there in a blue shirt, or indeed red and black, and Crompton is able to turn it away up to Chikuna. Does well there, holds the ball up, and then wins Tamworth a throw-in inside their own half.
Yeah, a lot to take it quickly, but you just see the manager and the coaching staff just saying settle the game down, take the pressure off. This is where you need Tonks as well to be able to hit that long throw and take them up the pitch a little bit higher, relieve that pressure.
So a throw-in, just for the time being, a little lull in proceedings. It's really bringing it back to me, that Kidderminster West Ham match. That was a little bit of a classic in its own right, when Declan Rice won it right at the end, and the ball is out of play for a throw into Tottenham in their own left back position. I think everyone just gathering themselves for one final push, but Chikuna wins it back and then goes down rather easily under the challenge of Bergvall, and referee Banks doesn't give the free kick. He's not endearing himself to the people in front of us, is he, referee Banks? Spence now for Tottenham. Spence allows Bergvall to take it on, and the teenager, it's a high pass that Crompton is going to head back nicely. Very, very composed from even though Solanke was quite close, he got that absolutely right to head it back to his goalkeeper.
He had to get it exactly right as well, because like you say, Solanke was bearing down on the goalkeeper Singh, but just to give them a little bit of respite now. Singh's got a great kick. You've just got to gamble off this kick now.
So Singh launches one through the middle. Gray got his head to it. Kai Williams will take up possession for Tamworth. He's got Sundiri arriving on his left, but Kai Williams crosses it all the way across the box, but behind everyone. From a Tamworth point of view, McGlinchey is able to take that on, and then Crompton. McGlinchey again on the right wing for Tamworth, and then forward from Crompton, but in steps Bissouma, and that will be now Son, who gets the ball and runs away with it. Son all the way through the middle. Eventually the challenge comes in on him from Cullinan Liebird, and the ball had gone. He was blocked there by Cullinan Liebird, and that is given as a free kick to Tottenham, 25 yards out.
Yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing in Cullinan Liebird. Crompton had a little nip at Son, couldn't get near him, and then Cullinan Liebird knew they were light at the back, had to be cynical with the foul that he made, but it was a good foul. It's at John around about 30-35 yards from goal, so it's a sensible decision from Cullinan Liebird.
Yes, you're right. A little further out than that, isn't it? It'll be round about the 30 yards out mark, maybe slightly more. So set piece for Tottenham. Still Tamworth 0, Tottenham 0. Hull Doncaster has gone to penalties. We'll be back there shortly. But Pedro Porro, it is over this.
He fancies this, John.
He does. 4-man wall now for Tamworth. Just to the left of the D. Pedro Porro with a free kick, takes it in low. Johnson shoots, it's blocked. Solanke, it's bundled into the net, and Tottenham have their goal. Rattled around in the 6-yard box. Johnson was there, Solanke was there, and between them they forced it past Jazz Singh, who is down on his knees. Tamworth are crestfallen. Tottenham are in front in extra time. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 1.
Well, as he stood over the ball, Pedro Porro, it looked like he wanted to hit a shot, but he just slides a beautiful pass into Brennan Johnson, and Johnson doesn't get the shot away cleanly. He scuffs it into the ground, and as it goes towards the back post, Solanke bundles it in under a little bit of pressure. It's so unfortunate for Tamworth. You just see hear the reaction from the crowd. A little bit damp, but they're now trying to pick the team up again. So unfortunate for them.
So there we are, Stephen. The goal comes in the 102nd minute. And finally, Tottenham have got their noses in front here. And Dominic Solanke, it was not a thing of great beauty, was it, the free kick? Although the working of it was actually quite clever.
Yeah, the working of it was beautiful, the way they moved it and the way that they freed up Brennan Johnson.
And Solanke forcing it over the line. But I think what told you everything you needed to know was the fact that Tottenham barely celebrated.
They're embarrassed the way that this tie's gone, and they feel like they need to just get the result and get out of town pretty much.
Well, it's not over yet, and Williams now into the penalty area. It goes down as the defender came across. Spencer was behind him. He clattered into one of the FA Cup sponsors' hoardings, but he's okay. Kai Williams back on his feet, but now Tamworth 1-0 down in the first period of extra time, and now Tottenham, Stephen, they've just got to control this, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got to see the game out. They've just got to keep ball, make it a training exercise. There'll be an element where they'll feel like they want to get another one and put the game to bed completely. And Tamworth are going to have to start coming out their positions and perhaps going for the game now.
Yep, Bergvall turns, sets off on a run towards the Tamworth box. Son back to Bergvall turning and just putting his foot on the ball. Crompton is there with him, and Crompton gets a foot in on it, but the ball's still not out of play. Bergvall is then picked up for a foul, so it's a free kick. He's trying to get the ball back from him. It's actually a throw-in that's been given. The ball is out of play, so it's a throw-in to Tamworth. Down in that corner, just next to the open terrace, I was on there. It was heavily gritted, that terrace, crunching underfoot as you walked into it. But I think with the sheer body heat there, all of that grit will have melted in there. There are any number of people who are standing on the side of the pitch watching Tottenham come forward. 1-0 up now. Johnson It bounces to Sundieri, who's able to deflect it away from Pedro Porro and out for a throw-in level with the edge of the Tamworth box. We've got a minute of the first period of extra time to go. More to come shortly on the Hull City Doncaster Rovers penalty shootout, but it's a throw-in that is taken by Tottenham. Pedro Porro then wins another one off Kai Williams. Then the throw to Kulusevski inside the box. Good challenge comes in from Sundieri to put it behind for another Tottenham corner.
I think we have to remember what exactly has gone on in this game. Tamworth have been exceptional, but Tottenham have had to bring on the big guns in extra time to try and settle this tie and make sure that they get themselves a goal. It's taken the likes of Solanke and Kulusevski coming onto the pitch, and club captain Son as well.
Pedro Porro to take this corner from the right hand side. Tottenham 1-0 up. Porro, right footed, outswinger towards the penalty spot. Oh my goodness, that was a touch there from Sundieri. Took it across his own penalty area. Tamworth were able to get it away though. Porro, and then Chikuna blocks it on the edge of the box, bounces out to Basuma, and then across there to Reguilon, now out to Son with Crompton in front of him. 1 minute of added time at the end of this first period. Son, his cross into the air, Sundieri's there to head it away. Basuma back to Kulusevski, chests it down. Tottenham very much looking for this second goal that would absolutely finish it. Finally, as a contest, Son's ball across, excellent change of shape by Johnson, but the shot was blocked by Cullinan Liebert. How many blocks from him today? Basuma left side of the area. Son then back to Johnson again on the edge of the box, back to Son. Son's quick feet in those orange boots, but not quick enough, and Chikuna, I think, was fouled as he passed it to Ray. Ray's ball over the top, but the referee has brought it back for the challenge on Chikuna for a free kick to Tamworth halfway inside their own half. And actually the goal has been given as an own goal off Nathan Chikuna. So certainly Johnson and Solanke with the shots, but in the end it's been given as an own goal off Nathan Chikuna.
So unfortunate, isn't it? But there was pressure on Solanke. It must have been from Chikuna. We couldn't really see it from our position, but as it goes in, it just goes in off the knee of Chikuna. Yeah. So unlucky.
It was a scruffy goal, scrappy, deflected, and it went in off the knee of Chikuna. So an own goal separates the sides at half-time in extra time, Stephen.
Yeah, you just get that feeling now that Spurs have got themselves in front, that they'll be quite comfortable in seeing this game out. From a Tamworth point of view, they're tired, the minds are tired, they'll feel like that goal has almost deflated them, but there's still an opportunity, 15 minutes to go to get themselves back into it. Perhaps they just need to go a little bit more direct, commit a few more bodies. They might concede another goal on the break, but that's part and parcel of going for a game.
Yep, so Tamworth have no option, they've got to go for it. Half time and extra time, Tamworth 0, Tottenham 1. Steve Crossman.
And I'm just down by the entrance to the porter cabins where the Tottenham substitutes are just running back down now in those big coats on this bitterly cold afternoon. The Tamworth players just on the pitch in front of me. I don't think there's enough water in the world that they can take on for the levels of exhaustion they must be feeling right now. Second half of extra time, moments away. Remember, Newcastle versus Bromley, which kicks off in 9 minutes' time. You'll only be able to hear that for now on local radio. We will join it once we're done here. Hull Doncaster Rovers went to penalties, of course. Betty Glover.
It did indeed, and now it is going to sudden death because it's 4-4. Both sides missed a penalty. Mason Burstow had a chance to win it for Hull with the fifth penalty, but he absolutely skied it over the bar. So we are going to sudden death. Hull are taking the penalty first, Steve.
Another 3 o'clock kickoff is Ipswich Bristol Rovers. Chris Coles.
Ipswich involved in one of the FA Cup stories last season, beaten by non-league Maidstone here at Portman Road in the fourth round, and they've had a recent tendency to lose cup games. They're fully expected to win. They make 10 changes, only Luke Wolfenden keeps his place. Bristol Rovers give a debut to former Brentford midfielder Romain Sawyers, one of 2 changes for the League One side, looking to make the fourth round for the first time in 17 years.
Let's go very quickly into the Women's FA Cup fourth round. Chelsea-Charlton about to get underway. Emily Herbert.
Yeah, and Chelsea put out a statement of intent that they want to get the job done today as Bonpastor names a first team lineup. 4 changes. Lauren James is back after 3 months out with injury. Kat Macario and Myra Ramirez lead the line, and Baltimore and Jean-Francois get their first FA Cup starts. As for Charlton, they're hoping for a cup upset today against the 5-time winners. 2 changes. Gray between the sticks for Whitehouse, and Mel Phillips returns to Primus.
And we're back underway at Tamworth. John Murray.
Back underway with Tottenham on the attack. Bergvall crossing into the Tamworth penalty area, but Crompton eventually, as the ball deflects to him, is able to pass it away. Stephen Warnock sitting alongside me, former England defender. We'll remember our trip to the Lamb, won't we?
Oh, we certainly will. What a game of football. Really good. Oh,
poor pass away from Hollis, and Kulusevski couldn't take it on. Chikuna now through the middle. Ray tries to run onto it, but Kinski got there first. It's come out to McGlinchey. He's gone for goal from the right wing, but it swirls away over the top of the crossbar. Didn't really threaten to drop in, so it remains 1-0. And we have our first FA Cup third round winners of the day with you, Betty Glover.
And the League Two side Doncaster are through to the fourth round of the FA Cup for the first time since 2021. They beat Hull on penalties in sudden death. It was Harry Clifton with the winning penalty, confident penalty right into the back of the net. They deserve this. They got the opener in the first half and they held Hull to an equaliser to take it to penalties. Defensively, they've been so strong. Hull go through to the fourth round.
Tottenham on their way through, and now surely on their way through. Kulusevski, left foot, bottom corner across Singh, and Tottenham now lead by 2-0. What a struggle it's been for them. What a battle here at the Lamb. But I think Tottenham now have done enough. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 2.
Yeah, just getting a little bit stretched now, Tamworth, as the ball was played out into the left-hand side. It was played into the feet of Reguilon, I think it was, on the left, and then Crompton couldn't get close enough to him. Feeds the ball into Kulusevski, takes that shot and then fires it across with his left foot to the far right hand corner. Clinical finish from Kulusevski. 2-0 Spurs, and sadly that looks like it's game over now for Tamworth.
Yep, second period of extra time, and Kulusevski, that was ruthless. That was the kind of thing that probably in all likelihood most of the people who came here today would be expecting Tottenham to show, and it's taken the substitutions, it's taken some of the big stars coming onto the field. Son was involved there, Kulusevski with the finish, and there wasn't anything Tamworth could do about that. And however, I don't think that will change their approach one jot. More of the same from them, and what they'd love to see now would be a goal.
Oh, they'd love it, wouldn't they? This place would erupt if they got a goal. There'd be a sense of energy back in the legs of the players as well if they could nick one now. But they've deserved a goal, John. They really have, for the way that they've set themselves up today.
They do, and let's see what they can do with this free kick. Cullen and Liebert flicks it on. McGlinchey crosses, and it's swept away by Solanke, who was happy to see it bounce out into the hoardings in front of us. Still very, very cold, although the temperatures are forecast to rise as Chikuna forward from him. Reguilon still finding it uncomfortable against McGlinchey. McGlinchey not affording him an inch of space. Chikuna then into the penalty area from Chris Ray, but the ball runs away, and Reguilon's thrown himself to the ground there after he was brushed by Ray, and wins the free kick.
He's another who hasn't enjoyed today. He's found it really difficult at times, tried to be a little bit too clever, overconfident at times, and he's found himself in a little bit of trouble at times. But as you say, John, going down far too easy there.
Yeah, it's a free kick to Tottenham. Well, I suspect the pubs and the various hostelries of Tamworth will have made a roaring trade today. This market town here in Staffordshire, where the footballing world has had its focus on today. And what a match we saw until the 102nd minute, when that ball hit Chikuna of Solanke's effort and ended up in his own net, and since then Kulusevski has doubled the lead. So Tottenham, it looks now as though, will be comfortably claiming their place in the draw, which is later this afternoon. So the draw will come on BBC One later after coverage of the Arsenal-Manchester United match. You'll hear it on 5 Live as well, and if you're following it on your own, just see how it's more interesting and exciting when you don't know what the numbers are of the balls. Throw into Tottenham in their own right back position, and Tamworth battling, they win it back. Morrison chases after it, but Bissouma comes away with it, long and right footed for him. It lands true on the surface of the pitch for Son to take on past Crompton, who put the challenge in. Son ended up falling into the penalty area. Crompton's going to bring it forward, but he overran it. Bergvall went to ground, won it back very well. Bergvall, he's also lifted the Tottenham performance since he has come onto the field. Kulusevski now, another Swedish international, as Spurs go back towards the halfway line. Bissouma up to the left-hand side to Son, and they have to be tiring now, Tamworth, after the physical effort that they've put in this match.
I hope they've all got a day off tomorrow, John.
They'll be back at work, most of them.
I know, but imagine, I mean, the effort that they've put in, they're going to be absolutely drained at the end of this game.
As we heard from Tom Tonks' sister, which was a very enjoyable interview. I think that was at 90 minutes, wasn't it? He'll be back on the sandwiches once. He's selling the sandwiches as Son plays it down the left-hand side, and Reguilon's ball infield, that's given away by Crompton. Groans from the home supporters. Haven't been too many of those this afternoon. Reguilon back to Son. Son with his head down. Square to Kulusevski. Back to Son inside the penalty area, but Cullinan Leiber very cleverly actually just allows it to run back to the goalkeeper. And we have 8 minutes to play. Tamworth have got 8 more minutes left in the FA Cup this season, after reaching the third round for only the 4th time. But here's Ray, they'd love a goal, he shoots, that's deflected. Williams with the shot, but it's straight at goalkeeper Kinski, who's able to drop down onto his left side and hold it.
Yeah, the angle was always difficult for Kai Williams, the left-hand side of the penalty box, probably about 3 or 4 yards wider than the 6-yard box, and he just tries to drill it hard and low across the goalkeeper, but Kinski gets all his angles correct, makes the saves look very, very easy.
Tottenham knocking it around in front of their own penalty area. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 2. 5 Live from the BBC. We'll have all of the reaction during the course of the remainder of 5 Live Sport, but you'll hear it as well on the Football Daily later from BBC Sounds when we wrap up this weekend of FA Cup third round football, which of course will continue on to Monday night. But even though we've had much discussion, haven't we, and rightly so as well, about the FA Cup being diluted with the 15 different kick-off times and it being played Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, what we've seen here, I feel, has sort of reinvigorated how people would want to feel about the FA Cup third round, don't you think?
Yeah, I also think as well that the respect that Ange Postecoglou has shown to Tamworth with the team selection also gives you a little bit of hope that there is more in this FA Cup.
Yeah, there's a couple of challenges going in centre field. Alex Fletcher, after initially Morrison dived in with a challenge, but everyone's okay. Tottenham, Son now carrying it infield. Tottenham have got Arsenal on Wednesday night. You'll hear that on 5 Live. Here is Reguilon rolling the ball into the penalty area. Son's having a field day now. He's round the defender, lays it back, but in the nick of time, Sundiri was able to come across and boot it out for, I think, a throw-in. Yes, it is, down the left.
Yeah, lovely body swerve from Son, and just sells the defenders who are a little bit tired now, but Sundiri left his left back position, made sure that he got across the pitch and cleared the danger.
Kulusevski, little ball into the area. Solanke on the turn, Hollis goes with him, then Solanke goes down in the box. Felt the contact from Hollis, who just ignores him, as does the referee. And Bissouma now, as Tottenham have it back inside their own half. 5 minutes to play. Sky's just darkening now, and the spindly floodlight pylons in each corner of the ground spark into life It's a timeless scene that we've got here in front of us as Archie Gray goes off on a run. What a run as well, beating 2 men down the left wing, then giving it to Son against Cullen and Liebert. Left foot ball right across the edge of the 6-yard box, which is cleared away for Tamworth by Sundiri. But what a run from Gray, showing his talent again there.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? Just a steady Eddie, does things so well. Doesn't feel like anything gets beyond what he's capable of doing.
Kai Williams charges down Porro's clearance, but I think that will bounce back for Tottenham. It is on the edge of the box. Yes, I was talking on 5 Live a couple of weeks ago about commentating on players' sons now, as often turns out to be the case. And I said it won't be long before I'm sure I'm commentating on grandsons of players, as the ball is played forward for Johnson, who's after it, but that runs all the way through for a goal kick. Commentated on his dad as well, David Johnson. But the point being that Archie Gray's dad, Frank Gray, I have commentated on Frank Gray when he was right at the end of his playing career, when he was at Darlington.
Wow.
So it has already happened. Here is Chikuna, who turns 30 yards from goal. Tries to scoop it forward, but then it bounces out of play off Sundiri, off Kai Williams, and it bounces off the roof of that building in the corner, which I have a feeling is probably the groundsman's hut, isn't it? With those garage doors, those red garage doors.
Yeah, quite possibly, yeah. Where Gary Flintoff is. You can see him now. Off your phone, Gary.
There he is.
Concentrate on the game.
Yeah, you'll be writing an email to somebody. there's
the ones you don't read.
I beg your pardon. There is the porter cabins are over on the other side of the shed, on the opposite side of the ground. There's intimate porter cabins. But the 3 o'clock matches are now underway, so we'll be at St James's Park as soon as we can for commentary. But the 3 o'clock matches have begun with a goal at Selhurst Park. George Cummins.
Yep, John, Palace in front, only taken 4 minutes, but they've been excellent in the 4 minutes. Kamada broke down the left, he played in as they cut into the box, rolled it past the Stockport keeper. Could be a long afternoon for Stockport. It's Palace 1, Stockport 0.
Palace already leading by 1-0. Commentary on that, by the way, is on Sports Extra in the fullness of time. In fact, it'll be there now with Conor McNamara and Steve Sidwell. The other matches all 0-0. Arsenal, Manchester United will be underway. That's on BBC One. Here come Tottenham. Tottenham now with the ball across from Spence, cleared out to Kulusevski. It might actually run and is whipped into the net on the edge of the box by Solanke. Super finish. In fact, it's Brennan Johnson who scored it. That's the 3rd goal for Tottenham. Brennan Johnson onto it on the edge of the area, right foot high into the top corner, and Tottenham now have a 3-goal lead, 3-0. I think that's tough on Tamworth.
It's really tough on them, and they were attacking down one end, Tamworth, and then Tottenham win the ball back, and it's the transition and how quickly they move the ball forward, and that's been the difference in extra time, is that physical aspect of the game. And as it goes forward, Brennan Johnson is clinical at the top end of the pitch, reverses the ball from the right-hand side of the penalty box into the left-hand side of the goal. Really smart finish. Singh nowhere near it. Such is the quality of the finish.
So Tamworth 0, Tottenham 3, and Brennan Johnson has rounded things off for Tottenham, who will be in the draw for the 4th round after the Arsenal-Manchester United match comes to a conclusion. And now it's the Tottenham fans that you can hear. They've got the 2nd leg of the League Cup semi-final to look forward to next month. They're coming forward again looking for a 4th goal, which would be very, very harsh on Tamworth, but actually this attack breaks down, and here is Ray, and now Chikuna just miscontrols it. Bergvall comes in, it bounces for Chris Ray anyway for Tamworth, looks for Kai Williams down the left, but Pedro Porro gets to that first and passes it back to Bergvall. So yes, still very much operating on 3 fronts when it comes to the Cups. Tottenham Hotspur, despite being in the bottom half of the Premier League, also in the Europa League as well, of course.
Promised the trophy, didn't he? Said he wins trophies in his 2nd season. He put a lot of pressure on himself and his team. It's not been an easy afternoon for his team today.
As Kulusevski runs onto this ball and crosses it, almost reached Solanke. In fact, there on the edge of the box for for Tamworth. Fletcher was able to tidy up. As that's given away, but a heavy touch from Reguilon, a rather tired swing at the ball from Cullinan Liebert that lands on the roof of the stand above our heads. Yes, it was a historical comment, wasn't it, from Ange Postecoglou, to point out that whenever he has completed a second year as a manager at all of his previous jobs, he's already always won a trophy in that second year. And there is the final whistle. What a contest this has been. A timeless scene here at the Lamb. These intimate surroundings with people packed in all around the ground. Almost 4,000 people. What an effort Tamworth put in as the lowest remaining club in the pyramid left in the FA Cup. But in the end, extra time told, and Tottenham's quality with their substitutes also told, and they won it with the Chikuna own goal and Kulusevski and Johnson's finishes. 3-0 in the end, Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, I just hope the Tamworth players don't get sort of too overawed with the scoreline, and that they actually have immense pride in what they've just achieved, because to go 90 minutes with a Premier League team at the home ground in the FA Cup is a huge achievement for them. So great display by Tamworth.
Tamworth 0, Tottenham 3 after extra time. Steve Crossman.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side of the pitch here, just next to the tunnel that leads you down to the porter cabins, the sort of stained red sign that says players and officials only, the lone massage bed that sits in the two dressing rooms. That is going to get some use in the next hour or so, especially in the Tamworth dressing room, because they have put absolutely everything into this. They're all in the centre circle at a minute, the Tamworth players, and they're standing there, they're swapping shirts. Somebody told me that the Tottenham kit man had been asked to bring at least 10 James Maddison shirts with him, because he was one of the players that the Tamworth players were most interested in having that jersey.